lot of money saving and a lot of value.
Well, I apologise. I just knocked over one of the dice. But you know what? The savings, and you make a really good point, because the individual savings have already been carried across. So in fact, as a Freedom member, your total saving is £26.94. Sorry, £26.04. £26.04. But I think we can all relate. Let's think about this. I mean, Lou, just rough gauge, as a crafter, a stamp of that size, how much would you expect to pay? What, 15 quid?
15, I was going to say, yeah, and that's quite, you know.
I think that's a good price.
You could pay a lot more than that.
You
15
could.
quid, yeah.
Well, look, when you think
15.
about it, £15 there, just for the stamps, you've covered yourself. I mean, as a...
Yeah, 45 quid for that, yeah.
Well, you've more than, as a Freedom member now, you've more than covered it. So just for the stamps alone, and it is not unrealistic to say, and we know this as crafters, you would pay about £15 for stamps of that size, Studio Lights quality. But then when you look at the dies we're getting as well, and they are beautiful, everything just works so well together. The dies are stunning. Love those.
The dies are actually really intricate, and you get lots of layers, yeah. So, you know, you're not just getting one or two, you're getting like several dies within each die. So you think, going back, you pay £20 for one die on its own. So, again, savings. Easily.
And then we've got the rice papers. I'm going to hold these up individually just so you can see the rice papers. I mean, come on. Look at that.
There's lots of things people can do here.
Exquisite.
Lots of things, isn't there?
That in itself, you really don't need to do a lot to create something very special. But we can go from there, because that's already got me. But then when you look at this, now this I'd be wetting that, tearing into it and taking those elements out. Beautiful
I think you could do a lot with this. It's not just for journals or cards or anything. I think you've got a real big book and stories and things with, you know, all sorts of different, like you make your own stories. I mean, look at that. It's beautiful.
The colours are
the green and the purple.
Yeah, the designs are stunning, 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 stunning. And then the final design, just to share. So those are your rice papers. I came and I had a little look, just getting ready for this show, Lou. So I came in to the studio and was looking, and I really couldn't believe the price, but also that everything in this we would use. Because I know sometimes, if I drop that down, sometimes we fixate on, oh, it's a great deal, it's a great deal. But genuinely, everything in here I'd use. And I'll tell you where my mind would go. The first thing I would do, the flowers just scream for colour. So you've shown us so many, over the years, you've shown us such fantastic watercolour techniques, or using your alcohol markers. So I would enjoy colouring those in. You've even got space, if you really wanted to get creative, a bit of mindful doodling. Moodling?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You could get your little doodles in there, and you've just said that you know, for kids as well, they could easily draw in these as well. So, you know, there's time when you can stamp and let them use like their own stuff and create with it as well. So yeah, I really like the massive spaces.
Well, just showing now. Look, we discussed about watercolours. This is the kind of thing you could do. I mean, how beautiful is that? Really nice.
Well, we've got Liz and we've got Rachel and we've got Karen, and they said all along, you know, you could create as much, whatever you want with it, in whatever style and whatever colours.
This is a nice bit of mixed media, Lou. So this is using the rice paper, and then lots of techniques, layering that up. There's even a gloss on there. Who did this one? This one was Janine's.
Is that Liz?
Waving by. Oh no, yeah, sorry, no, it's not. I'm not sure. There isn't a name on the back there. Oh, it is Liz. Apologies. No, it is Liz. Liz, I'm so sorry. The name was staring at me in the face. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. Or how
That's
about
it, you see.
Rachel now? It's a nice one from
again,
Rachel.
You know, paper piecing, as Paula said before, it's something for everybody and any style in any way.
Well, I love that.
That looks like you could just make that in applique, like Jenny's just been on.
Yeah, you could. I like how Paula described it. How did she say that again? How did she describe that?
Oh, she said it could be done for anything, like grunge and all the different styles. I can't remember, what did I say?
Anything for, I don't know, you said it so nicely, I wanted to copy it. I was going to steal it from you. It's like anything for anyone. I've got to tell you, we are busy for this option. over 60% of the stock. Look at the price as a Freedom member. You've got, I mean, £20 is your first flexi for everything. All 3 stamps. You're getting the dies, you're getting the rice paper. But I think for me, the real salient point is the reason why I love being a craft presenter is we know as crafters how much you would pay. So looking at these stamps, putting my hand in there, you know a stamp of this quality and size, it is not unrealistic to say you could spend £15 on just 1 stamp. Now, I know we've got special price on the show, but other brands, you know, that's how much you would be paying. So just for the stamps alone, that could be £45 worth of stamps that you're getting. And then you've got the dies, and then you've got the rice paper. So as a Freedom member, your total saving is £26.04. So I know we're saying £9, but we've already factored in savings in there. So please have a look at becoming a Freedom member. As a Freedom member, you're getting added savings, and of course your P&P's included. 992503, your item number. Really busy for this option. Now, it is on extended delivery. That's only because it's coming from abroad. It's going to be dispatched on the 6th of April. Lovely. So we haven't got that long to go at all. Now, Lou, would it be okay if we let you get set for your demonstration?
Yeah, it'll only take me about 10 seconds and then straight back.
Perfect. We'll do that. We're just going to jump onto the website as we head to Lou. There is lots to discover. So just type in Studio Lights and have a little look. So the dies, oh, actually, that's good. You know the dies you see there? They're $24.97 if you were to buy them by themselves. Now, your first flexi payment, if you were to go for the big bundle, is 20 quid. 20 quid, maybe some change. £20 and 40 pence. So, you know, just looking at it in a different way. But Studio Lights always bring us great value for money. So you can get the sets individually if you want. Have a look, but those savings have already been factored in. We've got the rice papers on the show as well. We've got more dies in there too. Lots more dies going through. So papers, double-sided, they've got lovely stencils and mandalas in there as well. So, I mean, Studio Lights always bring us good value for money. Okay, so what we're going to do is head to Lou. What we're going to be playing with, Lou?
Right, well, I thought I'd do a really simple but a really effective technique. So what I thought, there's going to be 2 in this show today, and I'm just going to show you that I've got a frame, and just with one little technique I can show you how to create a work of art, but also I've got the same sort of idea, and then I've got a mount and mat and layers to show you how you can make the same thing into a card. And it's so simple. Basically, you just need to make sure that you've got everything you need, you know, if you want the colours. So the colours I'm choosing today, I've gone for this really beautiful sort of French navy blue, and the craft card and white card. Now, it's not true watercolour paper, but it's got that feel to it. So I've gone for that because I like the feel. Plus the stamp, the one I'm going to do in the frame will work. If I choose not to have the blue in, the craft and this really dark green will look nice together. So the colours to coordinate with that, I've got a range of distress. So on my distress, I've got the vintage photo, it's got to be done, and I've got a blue, and I've got an antique linen, and I've got some others. I've got them in oxides if I want, but I don't know yet, but the essence will be these 2. So I've got the little bits as well. Keep these because these make great little colour swatches. I don't throw them away anyway, but you know, for making sure like notes and colours here that, you know, works well together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my platform, and I've loaded up well, I think it's a hydrangea. Other people have other ideas. Yeah. So I've loaded this up here. Let's move everything back so I can see. And what I've done is I've got an A6, no, not A6, that's the wrong word, a 6-inch square of card. I'm just going to line it up there. So the first thing I'm going to do is explain that the other sizes have got 6, 7 and 8-inch squares, just so you know what size they are. And I've got the hydrangea one, and I'm just going to, now this looks a bit convoluting, but it'll explain why. I'm just stamping with the ink, not very well at all, but I don't care, and I'm just going to do a light stamp there like that. I'm not worried about hitting and missing. And it really doesn't matter about you hitting and missing. Like I've got a big gap there, but really does not matter.
Okay.
So the next thing I'm going to do is always start with your light and then go to your dark. So then I'm going in with my darker one, which is really, it's past its best sell by date or used by or so, you know, I need a new one, but I like this one.
It's the beauty of using a stamping platform.
Yeah, well, you can use anything that you've got or comfortable with, but I like this because it'll keep going on the same spot, and that's what I want. So now I'm going to go in, hopefully, just a little bit more. I'm not paying attention to all of it because I don't want it all over.
Nice.
So now that's perfect. So now what I'm going to do...
Oh, Lou, I've just got to say that we're over 70% of the stock for this, so we're really busy for this option. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So what I've done now is I'm leaving all that on there. I'm not worried, and I'm going in straight with the black. Now the black needs to be waterproof and archival if you wish. That all depends on what you're going to use it for, because it means it's safe for photographs and things. It won't disintegrate, or you know, things like it won't damage any, you know, beautiful sort of artwork you've got. So this is a permanent, non sort of reactive with water. So what I'm going to do is just straight back on again, and this time I do pay attention, and I'm trying to get it in so I've got registration all over. Happy with that? Yeah. Now it looks a bit strange. Well, why have you done all those? Well, I'll show you now, because it is really, I always get a bit excited with these magnets. They start attacking me, so just bear with me. They sort of jump around, and it's quite scary, because they're retracting and attracting, and I'm like, oh, get them apart, and then they crash. It's quite funny. I have a right old laugh doing them. So what I've done is I've got the black and I've got the blue and the brown all on together. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with a wet paintbrush, I'm just going to bring out any colour and allow the colours to bleed out. Now, this isn't a particularly sort of strong watercolour, but you can just start to see that some of the colours are just bleeding out. And if you could do this several stages, I'm just going to do one, but if you wanted to, you can actually put a tiny bit of a movement on your stamp, and it'll just off register so that the inks do sort of, can you see them just popping out now? Yeah. So the black's still there, but it's actually allowing you to just see the browns here and the blues here, and they just sort of very softly bleed, and it's a really lovely sort of watercolour feel without it being too sort of labour intensive. I mean, you stamp it 3 times, but that's not a lot of effort. So this is the first technique. So we've damped all of it now. If you find that it's sort of doing that and you don't want it to, or you want it to keep it stable, just put a little bit of water on the other side, and it's sort of, especially if you've got a shiny surface, it'll adhere to it. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to work on a piece of acetate, and I'm going to take the colours excuse me, that are similar. So I've got a little bit of gathered twigs, a little bit of vintage photo, because all browns aren't the same. They're very different. You know, you could have cool browns and warm browns. You've got warm blues and cool blues. So make sure that you stick it to the colours that you've got within what you've already stamped. And I'll do that so you can see. There we go. So now you can see the colours. I don't need a lot, and I've already sort of put a little dark water down so that I can actually just add a little bit more colour. So all I do now is, whilst I want some colour, I don't want it to be overpowering, so I'm just going to drop in a little bit of blue. Now, this blue will dry really lightly, so it's not going to be as intense as it looks, because the card's wet at the moment, so it gives the appearance of it being a bit darker. Now, just stay within the middle part, and then, as I always say, with a wet, damp brush, but clean, just clean the brush, take the paint, the ink off it, and just spread that out there. Nice. You don't want to sort of put a big thick layer on, because you don't get that lovely feeling of it being blended. It just looks like you've coloured by numbers if you put too much on.
Beautiful stamp though, Lou. And just got to let everyone know we have got queues on our phone lines. I am so sorry if you're currently stuck in a queue. It's up to 3 minutes now. Lot of people going for this option. So I can only apologise that we have got queues. I promise we'll try and get through to you as soon as possible. If you do want to jump a queue, you can always order on our website. It is safe, secure and easy. And don't forget the Hochanda app as well.
I mean, you think £17 for all them? That's a bit mad, that, really. It's not mad in a bad way, it's mad in a good way, but it's very good price. So I've put the first layer, and even though I've only kept within a certain shape of the petals, they will keep moving. Now, in between, in these little gaps, to create depth, we need to put a colour behind it. So I've got two colours here. I've got the colour that I've stamped with, and then the colour gathered twigs, which might be sort of a little bit too dark on its own, but mixed with that is great. So I'm just going to test it on a piece of the knots, cool, and I'm just going to drop that into the background, only between. Now you don't need a lot, but because it's the same colour that you've got on your stamp and the same colour that you've stamped with, well, it's mixed with that, you won't have any fat colours fighting. You won't have suddenly like a jarring of colours. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Now, the next sort of thing you've got to look at is the green. But if you start to put green on here, then we've got a big difference in blues and browns. So my advice is just get the blue and a little bit of the brown, and you'll find you'll get a perfect green.
Oh, that's nice.
So you don't need it bright. You don't want any sort of focus to be on this element. This is sort of in the background, more or less. So you just give it a really light coat. So on one side you put in more colour and you get a nice edge or depth to it. And then the other side, and this is just with the brown and the blue together, you get a great green. A really nice green. It's and you can add a little bit more blue if you want more green, or a little bit more brown if you want it grayer, and you've got a really nice sort of depth to that. And then what I do here is drop down again just inside that. Nice. And you're almost colouring in, because what you don't want to do is leave that white. You want to sort of make it look like it's sort of in the background. And the next bit is to join all that up. So when you're doing this, the thing is you need plenty of water on this, because you're not trying to introduce that much water that it makes a difference. You're just trying to blend it out so that even if it does go green, it won't have a really big effect or a negative effect on this. I'm just putting a little bit more blue in there. And it's strange how when you put one colour next to another colour, how that has a big influence on the impact of it. So putting the blue next to the brown makes it look green. I'm really interested in that. It's just, and yet if you put the blue next to a red, it will look very purpley. So
yeah, that's nice.
It'll be the same colour, but it's just how colours work. It's great. I'm a bit sad like that. I like that's the only sort of science I liked at school, things that I could actually work with. So here I've got a little bit more. I'm just blending the colours out, because this is too much and this is too much. So again, I get the green that I've already mixed with the two colours, and I'm just mixing the two, and I'm just going to put that there, and it does look pretty heavy like that, but then because we've stamped with these colours and we've got a little bit of the stamp bleeding out, we get a beautiful ombre, and nothing's too heavy. Even the black doesn't look too heavy now. So I'm just going to leave that, sorry, throwing it away, and then just this tiny bit round here. And you can do, I tell you, it looks really nice if you stamp it on newsprint as well, like text paper and stuff. It looks fantastic. So just blending that out. And what I would do now is, while it's still like that, you don't want it soaking wet. And if you've noticed that the water really is at is at the outside edge of everything I've done, and whilst it's like that, it's sort of got enough water still here, but not that much that it's going to really flow too much. So you just put a little bit in the middle, and then and it's wiggle. I think that's going to be my epitaph. That wiggle your brush about, because that's all you're doing, wiggling it. And if you've got some nice little gems or anything, pearly drops or stickles or anything like that, that works wonders for these, because you can start to pick up that. But you can see again how the water that you've already laid down right at the very beginning is now blending. Right, so I'm nearly done with this one. Well, I'm not nearly done, I've just got to let it dry. So I'll show you the next one.
That could be your new catchphrase, Lou. Wiggle your brush about. That should be your catchphrase.
Yeah, give it a wiggle.
Don't
paint, wiggle.
Don't paint. I love it. So many.
Again, if you do a really, like I've gone really strong there, it doesn't matter, because if I show you now, I could just water that into the background and it's gone. It doesn't really have an impact, so you can't go wrong. Because I think that's where people get really scared. Oh, I've done it wrong. Well, no, because you can't do it wrong. Nice. Now, I've put a little bit of bright blue there, which might be a little bit too much. So, again,
pull it back.
Wiggle your brush, and that's it. Now, that needs a little bit time to sit and time to just sort of bed down. Yep. There are, you can go in with a little bit of dark blue like there, but we need to leave that to bed down. Now, I don't know if you want to do anything, I think a bit of a recap while it's drying.
I'll do that. That sounds a good opportunity. Thank you, Lou. What we'll do, we'll go through the individual options of this bundle, because you can get elements individually, and then we'll show you the complete. If you want to go just for the dies, we'll put up the details there. The point I was trying to make earlier on, especially when I was trying to price compare, I should say, thing with studio lights is you get great value for money in the outset. Even at the usual price of $32.97 for 3 die sets, I don't think anyone would argue that's not unrealistic. That's a good price. But $24.97 for all 3 of those is great. But that £8 saving has already been taken off of the bigger bundle, so do keep that in mind there. But I mean, this one, the detail that you're getting in that one die, that mandala, is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Look at all of that. So lovely dies. If you want to go for the dies by themselves, 327-445 your item number. The stamps. Now again, wait till you see the price of these stamps individually. This is where studio lights absolutely excel. 13.47. I can't for all 3. 13.47 is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That is, and I'm not surprised that we've been busy for these, because we're over 50% of the stock for just the stamps. When you consider, and genuinely, this is what I was trying to get across earlier on, you can get one stamp of this size. Obviously, studio lights give us a great price, but you're not, and don't let the price put you off, and I'm really conscious of this, because that's such a good price. You'd be thinking, well, how good are the stamps? It's studio lights, so we know we're getting good stamps. A stamp of this size, typically at Hochanda, when we offer stamps of this size, you'd be looking at let's say $13.47 just for one. I mean, about 15 quid, right? $14.99. So the fact that you're getting all 3 for that price is, I'm staggered, absolutely staggered. You are saving £4.50. That £4.50 is added into the big bundle. It's taken off the big bundle. And then we've got the rice papers. Just going to show you the rice papers. So bring up the details for the beautiful rice papers. Let me show you these. $11.92 for your rice papers. Another £4 saving here. I will just hold up the design, so you are getting 4 in total. And you need to, I mean, when you see these, the colours all complement everything. There is such a beautiful synergy between everything that we're offering. That's a dramatic look. It looks very similar to Katie, our producer. Then we've got the butterflies in there, stunning. Then we have the doors and the windows, love those. I mean, pulling those apart, you would absolutely get the most out of it. And this is another lovely one. We're approaching 60% of the stock by itself. I mean, for $11.92 for all 4 of those, great value for money. So one thing I would tell you, value for money on the individual options is exceptional. Already you're winning. But all the savings you would have had individually put into the complete, and then on top of that, you're getting a further saving of £5. So savings for that complete are exceptional. When you consider, let's say this die, if you were to forget the rice papers, if you were to just go off of 6 dies and 6 stamps, it would work out at what, £6.5, just over £6.5 per element. So that mandala would be just over £6.70 or something like that. I'm working off of the Freedom. I'm working off the, sorry, apologies. I'm working off the Freedom price because I would be a Freedom member there. Oh, was it 7.55? All right, my maths is way off then. I apologise. 7.55. Maths was never my strong point. But then also you are getting the rice papers in there as well. So I haven't. So if you divide it by 7, that's better. Let's do that. £5.80. Why not divide it by 7? I was trying to be clever. £5.80 sounds a lot more palatable, but that's the price. So £5.80 for that die. £5.80 for all those rice papers. £5.80 per stamp. You get the idea. Value for money, incredible. Please look at becoming a Freedom member. It's a great opportunity because you are getting a further saving as a Freedom member. And of course, then you've got to realise that your P&P is included there. We're at 3/4 of stock if you want to go for this. It is on extended delivery and it's going to be dispatched on the 6th of April. £40.82 your price if you're a Freedom member. 992503 item number. Okay, we've just got a couple of things to show you before we head back to Lou. We have got some stencil bundles, and these are beautiful. Background essentials. What I'm going to do is I've got some black paper, cardstock, and I'm going to pick these up and show you. Like, look at that one. Ooh, oh, that's tasty. We like that. That is nice. Yeah, like that a lot. So that's one good size stencil on there as well. And then if I pop that back, and we'll look at the others. So we've got another mandala style. Just get that in there. Now, oh, let's see this. This, I've seen Lou taking a stencil, similar sort of designs to this, and doing some beautiful moodling, mindful doodle. So, yeah, something to think about there. Love that. Popping that back. Then we have, oh, this is an interesting one. This is the mini mandalas. A little look there. And then I'm going to cough. I've got something. I'm going to do it in my. I just had something in my throat. It's the aircon. Sorry. It's not very nice for people to hear at home. And then finally, we got our mountain view. Let's just turn these. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. 1896 your price to create those wonderful mountainscapes, and then I like the foreground too, and that gives you that sense of scale, so you can put the grasses on there and then have these dramatic rolling hills in the background. Stunning. 1896 is your price if you want to get hold of those. Your item number is 105111. Now we've got some more for you as well. We're going to show you another stencil bundle. Let's have a look at these. So we've got more mandalas. And the next, let's have a look. Pick this one up. This is the mandala. Oh, this is beautiful. Do you know what? I'm thinking jelly plates. How beautiful would that look? That would look stunning on a jelly plate. Absolutely stunning. Pop that down. Then we have the lotus flower. It's a very nice flower. The team was saying they like lotus flowers, and there's something very symbolic. It's peaceful. There's a good energy to a lotus flower. Yeah, we like that. Beautiful. The petals unfolding. It's got something to it, hasn't it? I like that. Full of Eastern promise. Then we've got our branches. This is nice. Leafy branches, just screaming to be used. Oh. Do you know what? That's stunning. I'd be tempted to use this, maybe getting an emboss if you wanted to put a glitter or emboss technique on there. Gold emboss. Kirsty, our floor manager, is nodding away. Yeah, she's a crafter. And then finally, we got the clouds. So if you've ever struggled creating clouds, and think about your distress oxides, how good would they work blending with your clouds would be stunning. Get another nice bundle. All the stencils I'd absolutely use. £18.96 if you want to go for this bundle, saving £3 at 910958, your item number there. Right, now just give you an update on the big bundle. We're over 80% of the stock and we are sprinting like Usain Bolt towards limited stock territory, so do not miss out. We have still got queues on the phone lines. We've had a lot of queues on the phone lines this hour. I am sorry if you are stuck in a queue, and we'll try and get through to you as soon as possible. What we're going to do now is head back to Lou because she's having way too much fun at the moment. Lou, we're slightly out of focus at the moment. What's going on?
Hey?
It's just a little bit out of focus, the camera. We
Really?
see your hand
Not
perfect.
touched it.
Oh, we see your hand perfectly. It's the actual thing. Are you able to look through? We're going to get to it just
I
for a
think
moment.
it's because it's so. I think have you zoomed in?
No. Try. We're going to let Susan, because you can't see what I'm seeing, so we feel we're missing out on this.
Right,
We're
because
gonna jump.
I've not moved it. I'm just wondering whether they've zoomed in at home.
Maybe. Well, have a look and see if we can sort that out. While we do that, we're going to jump onto the website. There's a couple more things to have a look at on the website. So you've got your Jenny's Mindful Art, Mindful Art. Then we've got the focused eyes, the card shapes, which are great. Yeah, there's lots to discover. I think, Lou, we have sorted it out. Lou, we all set? Oh, that's Lou, that's better. It's like, it's like putting on my glasses.
What I've done here is I've put in some extra brown in just to show you that you can add a little bit more. But what I've also done is I just wanted to show you this, that the die, you can make this wonderful wrap round, and you could almost have it as a corner. So this is damp now, so this could actually, if I do it right, this could be sort of your photo corner holder, which should look quite nice.
That's clever.
So it's a nice little way of holding it there, but I'm not going to use it like that too much. But I just thought it's another way of doing it. So now what we've got to do is go to do something really simple. So I have got this wonderful stamp. And the stamp is the popper. Now, you can't go wrong with this. It's just absolutely stunning. So what we're going to do is simply just going to do some simple stamping with it.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to this in a frame and just show you how wonderful it looks. Now, I don't want it to be too heavy. So what I've tended to do is I've tended to use cloudy sky. So what I'm doing is I'm stamping up cloudy sky because it's not too, how can I put it, too strong. It's not a black, it's a grey. And if I just show you on a piece of card, it's got a softer look than black.
Okay.
So I've got a softer feel to it, whereas when I add watercolours, it's not going to sort of have. Now, you can have it side on like that, where you're sort of looking at it going corner to corner, but I'm just having it like this. Now, what you can do also, I think I've gone a little bit high to the top, but you could easily just drop it right down. So there's the grey.
Nice. Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
So that's with it centrally like that.
It's a beautiful
However,
flower.
you might not want it like that. You might want it, I'll show you the other way. You might want it, and it's good to have a play at your stamps. You don't always use your best card, but there is two sides to it, so it doesn't really matter. But you might have thought, oh, I like it up there, but then if you see it sort of lower down, you'll get the idea of it looking a little bit more. I'll just move this up when I've stamped it. You'll see it's got a little bit more, it fits in the middle more. So you can go really high, try and get it all in, or lower it a little bit. Now, if you miss a little bit, because these are all flexible stamps, you can actually just be a bit careful with it, but I can actually just do that and stick that petal on. So, really simple now, really simple. I love using Studio Lights paints, and the Mindful set by Janina
Okay.
go so well because we've got these beautiful, they're almost serene colours. So I'm just going to do some simple, very simple, quick watercolours, but the
Lou,
main thing is I'm going to put it into a frame.
Was it
So
you,
the first
Lou?
thing is I'm going to do
Lou, was
is,
it?
yeah,
Sorry, I was going to say, was it you that introduced me to the Himalayan poppy, the blue poppy?
yes,
Yeah, I thought it was. Beautiful flower.
yeah, it is. It's absolutely stunning. What I'm doing is I'm putting like it's sort of like a mustardy colour, and don't be frightened of these colours because these are the colours, these are your friends, and then get a big brush, because what we're going to do is we're going to wash it right out. And don't forget, this is going to go in a frame, so that concentrated colour will only stay around the flower. It will bleed right out once we put water around the sides. So again, these colours, often people go, oh, that's a bit bright, but it's seriously, this will be really complementary to any purples or pinks that I put on, because it's the opposite colour, so it won't jar with it, it'll look beautiful. So I've left that on there, and the next thing is very similar to what I did last time, but this time I'm going to just show you some more techniques using just the same thing but with paint. So we've got a chance now, we can use, again, your piece of paper is really helpful when you put this here. Yellow and purple always go well together, so you could say, do I want that with it, do I want, and it's easy to sort of make a mistake at this point. When you've done all this, you go, oh, I don't want it like that. So now's your chance to sort of think, right, well, let's get the colours right now. So I've got these colours. These go really well together, but I really like that as well. What happens if I mix them all? Well, you can, because they're a family. So what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to get a tiny bit of water on there. So it's a tiny bit of purple with a bit of water. Now, I don't want too much water on here. So, changing my paintbrush, and I'm going to move that just to show you. It's a bit difficult because we're so close now, but... Right, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit there. And I'm using the purple. And then I've got the water that I've got in my jar. I'll just show you there, the water. It's a very sort of watery colour. And I'm just going to blend that out.
Nice.
And then I'm going to get a little bit of sponge, or if you've got kitchen roll, this is the time to use it. You just get a bit of kitchen roll, scrunch it up, that's all you want to do, and just take the top part out. You don't want the bottom part out, just the top part. So I'll show you again. So again, that's as hard as it gets. Water here. And you can keep doing this till you're comfortable with the amount of paint that you put on. Some people are quite confident and need to put loads on, other people aren't. So you just do what you can. But I'm going to quickly go ahead and do this, which it won't take long, and just show you what it looks like once you've done this and put this in a frame. It just looks stunning. So here, it's going to be a bit darker there. So I've just put a bit of colour in. And I'm just introducing a tiny wash of colour. When you're first starting out with watercolours, if you put too much paint in and overpower it like that, that's really off-putting. But it's good to know that even if you've missed a bit of your stamp like I have there, you can add it in with the colour to make it look like it's full. But also, it's good to know that you can take that off. So I'm going to do these really quickly now, just to show you what they look like in a frame. So I get the water down. This is how I do it when I'm messing with mine. When I'm showing people, I tend to do it a little bit slower. And then, so you're just tickling the colour in. And it's a great, when you take your time to do this, it's so therapeutic. And you see these lovely cards in really nice shop windows, well, when you can get out. And the really expensive art cards or art prints, and you think, wow. But then you can do that really easily. You just need to see how to do it. And once you've done it once, you're away, you can do it. So, again, a little tiny bit in here. because if you look where the lines are, you can see where the shadows should be. So I'm just going to drop that in there again. If you've got the water brushes, they're good as well. Now I'm not liking that bit there. So what I'll do is I'll take that darker and then blend that up, and that's better. So I've got 2 done. Don't be worried about leaving this bit here, because sometimes to me that gives it a bit of character. If you feel that you don't like the ridge, just put a little bit of water in and osmosis. Is it osmosis? No, that's not. That's when it. I'm trying to think is in the right word. Well, it's spread. Anyway.
Sorry, what were you? Say that again.
I'm thinking osmosis. That's when it sort of seeps up, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm making it up now, Yanis. I'm making it all up. So anyway, somebody's a little bit confused about using pencils. You can use pencils on the top of your watercolours. So if I wanted to create a little bit more depth and I wasn't too sure of how to do it with a paintbrush, just get your pens out, get your graphic markers on it, get your all your alcohol markers and do it the same way. So that's done, believe it or not. Or you can do as much or as little as you want. I'm going to take it really lightly and I'm going to put a little bit of the light green. I don't want it too heavy because I want it to have a nice sort of soft feel. Now, I don't know where, some of you might have a colour scheme or you might have something in mind for your house, and it might be a certain colour frame. Now think about that when you're doing this, because you want it to go with your house. So if you've got everything that's in greys and neutrals, you might want a pop of colour with this. Well, that'd be perfect. So, but if you've got everything in bright colours, you might want to tame this down. So you might want a plain frame, you might want a gilt one. So I've just put a little bit in there now. Happy with that. I'm just going to, this is annoying me here, so I'm just going to go like that. That's it. Right, now, that's really quickly, hardly any time. You can take it a little bit further if you want. I'm not going to, but I'm just going to show you, is that you can take one of your stencils and just, do a little bit of work round the side. I'm not going to. I'm just going to show you what that looks like now in a frame. So I've got a cheap frame. I think this was £1. Anything more than that and I won't pay. So that's the one I did in the back. I'm not showing you yet. No, not showing you. I just hope it goes in. Make sure that the frame, like I say, fits in with your house and what you've got. And if you're doing it for someone else, take the time to find out what their colour schemes are, because that'll be the difference between handmade and homemade. Right, this you always get one, don't you? You always get one.
Yeah.
Right, count to 10. Why is this happening on telly? Because I'm doing it on telly.
Yeah.
Right, hang on. I know what it is. It's that here. Get the shoe on in it. There we go. Right. Okay. So, there we go.
Oh, that's very pretty. Very pretty. Just going to give everyone a little update. If you do want to go for the complete bundle, we are approaching limited stock. Very, very, very busy for this. We kind of broke it down. We worked it out with the complete bundle as a Freedom member. If you were to just take the 3 stamps, the 3 dies, and include the rice papers as one element, so 7 elements in total, it works out, what was it, £5? About £5.80 per element. So look, let's just think about that. £5.80 for all those beautiful rice papers. £5.80 for this stunning die set. I mean, look at that mandala. Imagine paying £5.80 for that. Well, you can with that as a Freedom member. So I'm going off the Freedom member price, but even as non-Freedom member, you're still getting a great deal. These stamps are exquisite and they're just screaming to be used. I love the fact Janine has given us on the back. We even get to see, look, we get to see with Janine. She's given us an idea of where you could take the stamps. So just giving us a little reflection on the colours you could incorporate in there. So absolutely stunning collection. I'm so glad it's busy because it's one of those, as a crafter, when I saw this, I couldn't get over the price, but also how beautiful the stamps were and the dies. So if you do want to get hold of these, just got to remind you, they are an extended delivery, and that's only because it's studio lights. So 6th of April, I'm so sorry, I'm going to put that back on in a second. We're going to be heading back to Lou in just a moment, though, because I know she's got more demonstrations. We've got about 6-7 minutes left, Lou. We are limited as well. Lou, we're limited stock. On there, we're busy.
I'm just going to quickly go through some little ideas for you. I've got my jelly plate here.
Okay.
This is a brand new one. Woohoo! And just to explain that you get different stencils. Now, some stencils are really heavy, thick, and you can't really gel plate with them because the registration between this and the surface is too big. But with these, they're perfect for it. So you mentioned gel plate before. Great minds think alike. I thought I'd do a little bit to show you. So you can see straight away it just sticks really well. So you can use your oxides, anything you want. I'm going to go with oxides. So don't want a lot, and I'm just going to go with this one is peel paint, and I'm just getting a little bit on my roller. I'm using the biggest roller in the world, but who cares? Now, I might need, because it's brand new, I might need to just give this a little bit of a spritz, but I'm not too worried. If it doesn't work, then that's fine. So I've got some on there. I'm going to put this on here. And I'm just going to see what it's like. You do need thinner card for this, but I'm going to see what it looks like with this. And give it a good
burnish,
Now, normally, you'd be hard pushed to get that through.
Nice. That's a good one.
Now, I'm just going to peel this carefully. Don't forget that you spritz. So if you've got your water bottle and you just leave your gel plate for a minute, get your water bottle, give that a bit of a spritz. I'm just moving this out of the way for a second, and then just let that drop. What you do need to do is this is Diane Reevely's the one who showed everybody how to use the kitchen roll like that. So this is another one which you get a watercolour effect. Again, you can keep going and you'll get this picture. Was taught to Liz this morning, was talking about this morning. So you've got that one, and that one. Now what I'm going to do is just see what we get from this one. So this is still on there now.
Oh, you can see it really well, actually.
I'm just going to a great height. So it's like you put perfume on and you walk through it. Well, I don't put perfume on like that, so I'm not too sure what it means, but you're supposed to sort of spritz it in the air and walk through it. Well, I don't. Now, it might have dried a little bit too much, but I'm not too worried.
Oh, that's nice. Lou, that's lovely.
So you've got the misting, and then I've got another pull from this, easier. So I'll put another colour on it. So I'll do it on here. So you can see that you wouldn't normally get that amount of detail out of this because can you see, you've just got a faint outline of it, but I've still got loads of colour. Now, by doing this, I've got a ready-made background, and I'm still going a ready-made background for yet another stamp. So I'll just show you. I can now I've got that there. So if I want to, I can add, say, let's get another bit. I shouldn't really use brown with it, but if I put a little bit of brown on my gel plate, and then I'm going to put this on again, see what we've got. This is the thing about gel plates, you've got to be ready with all your stuff and then loads and loads of paper, because if you don't, before you know it, you've run out of space. Now, I don't know whether this is too dry. Oh, it's beautiful. And you only put a little bit on.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's really pretty with a mandala. Love it. Look,
and then
the stencils are lovely, and this is just one of the stencils. And I like both bundles.
Look at that.
Do you know what I like with the bundles? We've got the branches in one, the sort of like the branches, and then in the other set, well, in all these stencils, you will use them. There's some lovely effects in there.
Yeah, you can do really good landscapes. I mean, if I've got a second, I can show you. So
go for it.
You've got some brilliant colours there. I mean, I'd keep these as colours like that. I'd keep them like that because I love the colours. But you have got a couple of landscapes, and you've got sort of backgrounds for pictures. So I'm just going to show you this one quickly. So this one is the landscape. So what you do is you start with, say, this one in the background. Now, it's up to you what you use. I'm going to use just a ink. Well, I would always sort of, if I'm doing this with more time, I would spend more time taping it down, but at the moment I'm not really bothered. So you always start with this one because this is the back. So I'm just going to finish this and then I'll move it all up. So there we go, we've got the back, there's the background. So then the next one we do is the one just over that, and we're just bringing it a little bit higher like that, and then we go over with the same colour. You'll get a point where I've saturated the colour, but you can just see it there, and then we come down again and have it.
It's like
might
the
have a
Welsh
little bit
valleys.
of brown with it now.
Have you ever driven in the Welsh valleys,
So we
Lou?
get a really... Pardon?
Have you ever driven in the Welsh valleys?
Oh yeah.
They're beautiful.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stunning, yeah.
So the nearer you come towards yourself with the colours, the darker they should be, so that we've got this lovely sort of, this really nice ethereal feel. So the last colour should be darkest. So, I mean, this is only a quick one to show you what they look like, but you would end up with this, and then the very last one is the darkest of all, and that'll be, quickly show you. So we've got that there, and then we get this one, and we tend to use something like a very dark brown or a black. So I'm going to go in with a dark brown, and just to show you there. And like I say, these are great for gel plates. They're not hugely thick, but I think, to me, sometimes that's a blessing because you can't always get this detail with really thick ones. So there we go.
Oh, that's nice, Lou. Stunning
So-
work. Lou, time's beaten us. Thank you so
Wow.
much. Do you just want to turn the camera around so we can say goodbye to you? We'll let you turn your camera around.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been really busy, and the thing with studio lights, especially when you put Lou and studio lights together, you're going to get something very, very special. I think Janine's work with the stamps, the dies, the papers are exquisite, really nice. That's such a good bundle. I'm not surprised that bundle is busy. The price just blew me away, but also it's the quality of the stamps and the dies and everything together. Lou, thank you so much. I've had a great hour.
Yes, I've really enjoyed it as well. So it's been great getting all these different techniques in, and using the bleach this morning and all the different, a couple of stamps. You don't need much to do, and you're away.
Yeah. Lou, 2 groups we need to be following on Facebook. What are they?
Thank you. It's Junk Journals and Mindful Mixed Media Art. And then we've got Mindful Moodling, which is all about taking time out for yourself, self-help and self-care.
Lou, thank you so much. You're an absolute star. Do have a look out for those groups as well. Lou, thank you. I really enjoyed it. And thank you to everyone for watching. So, coming up next, we have got a fantastic one-day special, Moda American Gatherings, really nice fabric. After that, Matthew Palmer's here with live watercolouring craft along, and then the one-day special returns.
Exciting news! For the 5th year in a row, Hochanda has been awarded the top accolade of Platinum Trusted Service Award from Feefo. These awards recognise businesses that deliver exceptional experiences as rated by you, our customers, and we're honoured to have been selected. The Trusted Service Award means you can shop with confidence, based on the reviews from over 60,000 Hochanda customer experiences. Thank you for your independent reviews. It means a lot to us.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Vicky. We are the Stamping Sisters
From Stamp Addicts. We started our family-run business in 1992 when we were importing rubber stamps from the USA.
But now we design and manufacture them all here in-house in our shop in Bedfordshire.
We make grey rubber stamps and we make them as deeply etched as we possibly can so that you can use them in many different ways.
On our shows on Hochanda, we like to give you lots of different techniques to use with the stamps, different ways that they can be used and ideas.
We hope that we can inspire you to get out your stamps and have a play. Look at all the different designs we've got. We've got Christmas, we've got scenic, we've got cute and furry. There's something for everyone.
Make sure you don't miss the Stamp Addict shows
On Hochanda.
Hello, I'm Hayley, and you might have seen me presenting here at Hochanda. Well, I've always been an avid crafter behind the scenes and have been given the opportunity to share some of my favourite products with you in a monthly show called Handmade by Hayley. So I hope you'll join me, let me inspire you, and maybe you will discover a new craft in the process.
Hi, I'm Jean, and together with my partner Malcolm, we run a small business in the northeast of England called Crafty Individuals. At Crafty Individuals, we're mostly involved in the design and manufacture of a very wide range of red rubber art stamps, but we also have a range of background papers and mini images that are also brilliant to create with. We also have a great little team of other artist friends who've helped us along the way and have come up with other designs that completely work alongside our own. So do pull up a pew and join us on the Hochanda shows. We can't wait to see you there.
Hi, I'm Andy from Picture This. I've been a painter all my life. Picture This was actually formed on the back of a throwaway remark from one of my art students. This has developed my drawings into a series of photopolymer stamps, clear stamps for the crafting community and the crafting industry. The stamps are all hand-drawn by me, they're made in the UK, most important to us at Picture This, and we have so much more to bring. Our shows on Hochanda, we hope to make them informative, amusing obviously, entertaining, but mainly it's about bringing the creative spirit to you. Make sure you tune in and watch the Picture This shows on Hochanda.
For the past 6 years, Hochanda's been your home of crafts, hobbies and arts.
We've got some exciting news. We've got a brand new name.
From April the 1st, we'll be changing our name to The Craft Store.
This will make it easier for you to find us when scrolling through your TV channel guides and searching for us online.
Nothing else is changing. We'll be the same Hochanda that we've always been.
We're just getting a brand new name.
Demonstration-led, full of inspiration and variety, with our own dash of personality.
Welcome to the Craft Store, your home of everything crafts.
Well, good evening. We have got a one-day special here at Hochanda that is not to be missed because, of course, it's by Moda, which is an incredible company that creates beautiful quilting fabrics. And, of course, we are so celebrating the gatherings, those beautiful turns to celebrate in the countryside, to celebrate in street party sort of thing. You know, in small gatherings, of course. But I'm not here alone because that would be boring. We have got a true royalty when it comes to crafting, when it comes to quilting, and of course Jenny Raymond is here.
Paolo, I wish you wouldn't do that to me.
Aww.
You see, true royalty. I mean, really.
Well, for me you are, because I have watched you for a long time. I always find you incredibly informative, but also you make the whole experience of quilting and putting things together fun, and that's very important.
You are very kind.
Very truthful as well.
Thank you.
Right, now talking about the one-day special,
yes.
When you opened this bag of beautiful fabrics, what was your first inspiration? What was came to you?
What I particularly liked was A, the quality.
Yes, of course, Mora.
Felt wonderful.
Yes.
B, the freshness of it all. You've got a lovely blue, and it's a really good blue. The red is delightful. It's not an orangey red. It's not a blue red. It's just a nice red. You've got the mixture. You've got stripes. You've got flowers. You've got confetti. You've got stars. It is such a wonderful bundle of inspiration. And I looked at it and I thought, where do I start? What am I going to begin with when I start making the samples for the show? And I'm afraid I have spent very happy 4 days sitting in my workshop, sewing like mad with these samples. I nearly used all the fabric they've sent me, so I have had great fun.
Well, can I say one thing? Not only Jenny is a royalty of quilting, she's also a great magician, because 4 days I'm producing this array of amazing samples. You are something else. You are amazing.
Shall I talk people through what we did?
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Okay. Starting off with, in the top corner, we have a design that comes from half square triangles using stripes. And notice how the stripe distorts when you roll it back.
Yeah.
This one is from a firework design called Girondelle, which comes from the book Foldy Roldy Patchwork Pizzazz, and I can still say that, and it's now sort of way past my bedtime. Again, all comes from squares. So these two are from the book. Moving down, now you missed this because this was on the previous 6 o'clock show. So if you want to know how to do it, watch the previous 6 o'clock show. This is the famous little bag, and no, I'm not going to put it on my head again because it
I've been
will
looking forward to
spoil
that.
my hair.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Have I really got to put it on my head again?
Well, if you please, if you didn't mind. Oh, the ball goes.
There was a story. You'll have to watch the 6 o'clock show for the story.
Okay.
But the pilgrims are toiling their weary way over hill, valley and vale, and it's raining. So in order to prevent the rain from coming down, Mummy Pilgrim emptied the contents out of the bag, threw the wool away, took her mobile phone out, etc., etc. This is the 12th century.
More important.
Put it back on her head, you see, and instantly she had the rain hat.
That's so fabulous.
And she could walk along unfettered and didn't get wet, because they didn't have umbrellas in those days.
Indeed,
Anyway,
they didn't.
this actually
Absolutely
is a
fabulous.
script bag. It is a copy of a bag carried by the Pilgrims way back in the 12th century. And you can find it in Tucks and Textures too, I'll have you know.
We do have that book, I believe, in the
So,
show.
Moving down, we've got this, which is done with the half square triangles and the companion angle, and that I have to say thank you to Lynn Quine for, because she embroidered that upon. It's on one of the layer cake blocks, the 10-inch squares. Then we've got the little quilt, which again I demonstrated on the 6 o'clock show, just literally made from strips, and it's just how you cut them up and how you stitch them together. Coming further down, this is a raiment version of a Japanese knot bag. Seriously easy to make, and I'll probably demonstrate that tomorrow, either on the 12 o'clock or the last show tomorrow. Then you've got a design that comes from the book called Sew Pieces. All of this is made out of layer cake. So these are the 10-inch squares in the middle, and these are strips down the side cut from the 10-inch pieces. You can do an awful lot with the layer cake. And then we have this design, which really gives you your tumbling blocks. It's your 3D, it's perspective. And that just comes from strips of fabric cut up, and it's being cut using the 60-degree template. Put them together and you get that. So there's a wealth of inspiration. And Paola, I could have gone on making so many things, but, you know, tempus fugit and
Absolutely, tempus fugit. One of the things that I love about that quilt is that it shows why the bundles, the options for the one-day special are put together. Now, of course, we have got 3 different options for the one-day special. First is the navy and cream, which is absolutely a delight, and of course, that quilt reflects that beautiful small patterns.
Yes.
Now, the other option that look, I love that. It's like this one. It's kind of
shooting stars.
Exactly.
Yes.
I also saw like a lighthouse. You know, that lighthouse. Yeah, light. Then the tiny stars in here. Then we have, of course, the Old Faithful, and with the beautiful stars in there. The tiny leaves as well. Lots of ditzy prints again.
Really nice. And the nice thing about working with ditzy prints is if your stitching is not quite 100%, because the colour, the fabrics have got creams, and it's a creamy white in them, you don't have the problem. Your sort of little idiosyncrasies with your seams will just merge.
Absolutely. And also these are, I'm kind of thinking they are really brilliant as well for English paper piecing because of the tiny element.
Absolutely, yes. And then you could make them clothes and things out of them.
Absolutely, beautiful fabric. Then you have the red and cream, which, not surprising, is my favorite. It is the most popular as well. Well, you know, and you are so right, Jenny, about the nature of this red, that is a pure, true red.
Yes. Yes.
You know, it's a red, and also it has a little bit of what I call it, you can make it a little bit more vintage if you wanted to.
Very much so. And of course, there's a big vogue for doing red work.
Yes, of course.
And that would just so complement. You can have the layer cake and do your red work on the layer cake, sit there in the evening sewing those beautiful red work designs, and then frame it in these fabrics. And you've got such a wealth, because there's 10 different fat quarters there with 10 different designs. So that's going to really complement any piece of red work that you do.
Absolutely. And some of them even, like, for instance, I can almost see it. I mean, I don't think it's almost like a swear word to say it, but a blender even.
Yes, and I said, well, you know, if you've got some of them left over, they'll do for Christmas.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Now, that, of course, is the red and cream. And if you cannot decide between the navy and the red, go for the multi, because that, of course, has a little bit of both. And, of course, that means that you get the beautiful navy and cream and some of the red as well in here, so you can see there. And of course you get the red and blue fabrics in this one as well. I have to say it's difficult to make a choice, but I would go for whatever kind of, you are more cool person, go for navy. If you're more of a warmer person, red as well. Now they are American fat quarters. Is that because it's based on a yard rather than a meter?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So that, just to make it sure, it's an American fat quarter, and of course it will be dispatched from the 11th of April, which is of course in a couple of weeks time. That's so commodity, of course, that comes from abroad. And now you have a £6 saving in the one day special. £33.99 is your price, and of course you have a 10-piece fat quarter with you know, whichever option you go to. Now we say that we, of course, this is American fat quarters, but we also have got the pick and mix of the half-meter pieces in here. Now, I believe you were sent the half-meter pieces, didn't you?
I was indeed. I had the half meters. So it's, you can have any two. So, you know, you could have a red and a blue one, you could have two Jitsi print ones, entirely and utterly up to you, but do go through them.
Absolutely. Let's go through them. I'm not going to give you the names. Please refer to the website if you need to know exactly which names. But you can see that you have, I mean, I love the sparkly, the confetti, the stars, that you have got the negative kind of elements into it. The Old Glory there, the stripes and stars. Love this for summer. Think of the seaside, project for the seaside.
Yes. Absolutely. Bags and tablecloths and shirts for the kids and all sorts of things you can make out of it.
And I also kind of thinking as well, in the, you know, in the rose garden sort of thing, you have kind of like the cushion pads, the, you know, the tablecloths that you were saying. So it's not just the beach, it's not just the gatherings, it's every day as well, to celebrate that brighter days are coming very soon. And of course you have the options to go for all the reds. Look at this. We are looking at the half-meter pick and mix. You choose any two. So for instance, you could say, well, I want two of, like, say, two of the red collection, or like Jenny was saying, go for a red and a blue if you want it. The same pattern in those contrasting colors, that kind of gives you a very cool look. Remember that you have got also the blue, the multi options in here as well. So it's your choice. You choose any two and you will get half-meter pieces for £14.99. 189572 is your item number. And of course, Jenny has teased us with some of her books. Here they are, the books. Creative Tucks and Textures and Material Mosaic. Yes, I did say it right. £18.94 is your price. You are saving £6. They are full of amazing projects. You know, the way that Jenny explains things, the way that her books are also fun and full of stories, it makes it much more than just a quilting book. Then we have also, well, this one I need to read it. Foldy, roldy, patchwork pizzazz. More or less, you know. She's laughing.
Well, it's Jenny's title.
Foldy, rolly, patchwork pizzazz. There it is. £9.99 is your price with a £4 and 76 pence saving. It's still grab yours by checking out this basket. 707-951 is your item number. And of course there is more on the website, but there is more to see in this show because of course Jenny is here to inspire us. So what are you going to show us this hour?
I'm going to show them how to do bunting because we're all going to be celebrating at some point in time. We are going to be out there and we're going to be celebrating. And what could be better than to have red, white and blue festooned across our streets?
Absolutely.
Now, just to tease you, you see, you missed out on doing this one. Have to watch this one. You missed out on this one. And you missed out on these. But we've got other things lined up for you. So
and we can watch on Rewind as well. So if you have missed but you want to see Jenny in action, hochanda.com on Rewind.
Thank you. Right, I have cut 2 strips of fabric that happen to be 5 3/4 inches, which of course you can cut easily if you've got a nice long ruler. This particular template, this is a 6-degree template. Now, we've got these on the show as well. And because these were 5 3/4 inch strips, this fits it a treat. Now, I'm not going to cut anything. No, I'm just going to draw around the side of it. Now, the first thing you'll need to remember, and I nearly forgot, is you put your fabrics, both of them, right side on the outside. Do not have them right side on the inside for the really speedy bunting. I will explain how you can have it on the inside if you want slightly slower bunting, but this is speedy. Lay the template on the top and you need a pen you can see. Draw beside the template. That's not going to draw terribly well. Let's try a little bit slower. So draw firmly. Do not panic. You're actually drawing your cutting line. So draw one triangle there. The next triangle here, I'll turn my fabric round, it's probably going to be slightly easier. So I am drawing either side of the template with my 2 fabrics right side out, because this is really, really, really simple bunting. I'll just do 3 of them. All right. Now you might have a pair of pinking shears or you might have a rotary cutter that's got a pinking blade in it. You could just cut for the moment along that drawn line with your rotary cutter or with your pinking shears. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to sew using a narrow seam allowance just inside the lines.
Right.
So I'll do inside those 2, turn it round and do inside that one. So I've got both fabrics right sides.
That's why you were using the tool to mark the lines rather than to cut.
You cracked it, Paola. Right, down to the bottom here, stop, flip the fabric round, back up the other side. Now, those of you at home, you may sit down. Right, you do not have to stand up and sew.
Good, that's a good...
When you get to the end, just jump across to the next one. But don't try and go on the in-between, you do every other one. Then you can sew down. So this is really, really, really speedy bunting. Stop the needle, drop it down, raise the press the foot, back up the other side again. And remember, when you come to the end, you need a little donkey. Where is he? There's the donkey.
Oh, donkey.
Sometimes called a leader or an ender, or sometimes called a thread saver.
Oh, I see, yes.
Yeah, right. So I've sewn down inside of 2 triangles. I'm just going to do that one, and then I'm going to cut it up, and you will see speedy, speedy bunting. Because when we get into the celebrations, you're not going to want to be sitting around. You're going to want to be outside there celebrating. And this can be hanging up, festooned along the garden, festooned all over the street, red, white and blue.
Absolutely, to celebrate. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It's just like those colours are they're patriotic colours as well.
Yes, they are. You know, let's celebrate. Right, all you do now is cut down the lines there. So you've cutting through your drawn line. Sometimes these pinking shear cutters need a bit of pressure. There we go, one last one to cut. Okay, so you can do dozens of them. So I'm going to now alternate them. Bit of ribbon.
Yes.
Set your sewing machine to do zigzag. Zigzag stitch on the sewing machine. You want it fairly wide and not too close. And all I'm going to do is take my bit of ribbon, take the bunting, lay the bunting on the ribbon. You might find it easier actually to go with the bunting hanging out the side. And leave sufficient to tie it onto the lamppost or whatever you're going to tie it onto. raise the presser foot, tuck it underneath the presser foot there, and all you're going to do is zigzag along. So laying the raw edge of the bunting along the top there. Now, this is really speedy bunting. What you could have done, had you wanted to, is had the two fabrics right sides together, done the same stitching, and then turned it right side out, which would have given you a neater bunting, but that would have taken time, and let's face it, who's going to stare at the bunting? All they just want to know is there something there to celebrate? Don't forget to upend, turn them up one way. So you see,
and this could be one bunting that, yes, you created now to celebrate, you know, that we are, you know, back. Well, from next week we can have a smaller gatherings in our gardens, but then it's something that year after year we can bring out, and we remember the celebrations, those times after we, you know, after the lockdowns, after all the things. We, you know, we had a little, you know, gathering.
we deserve a celebration, and we can
do.
gather together with our gathering fabric.
Absolutely.
And you just go on and on and on. If you're running out of ribbon, we'll just join it together. You could have been slightly neater, of course, and used some bias binding, but hey, it's bunting. So there you are. There we have some
And,
bunting. Except
you know,
you
we
can
are
now have a
giddy
good
with
laugh at my expense because I've got two round one way and one round the other. But it's bunting. Does it matter?
Well,
no.
absolutely, it doesn't matter. We are giddy with excitement of celebrating, so therefore it does not matter how.
By the time we've celebrated a bit, you won't know which way up the bunting is in any case. It doesn't really
you know me too well, and we only met. Right, now, of course, that is the amazing, beautiful gatherings from Moda. But we also have got the layer cakes. Now, the layer cakes from Free Spirit, I believe. Now, you have got two options, which is, of course, the white and our cream. So two options here for you. 10 inches in square, beautiful fabric. Free Spirit make it like Moda, amazing, beautiful fabric. £47.49, or FlexiBuy it, you are getting 42. This is phenomenal when you are doing blocks of different sizes, of course, but also I think it's for easy piecing. So, for instance, if you go, I would go for the cream. I would recommend the cream one, especially with the one-day special, because it matches beautifully.
It absolutely fits in a treat, yes.
So when we need to have, like, if you are putting this together and we don't want to use the pattern in everything,
no.
This is perfect.
For your embroidery, tomorrow I will demonstrate how you can put, I might be doing it tonight. In fact, I think I'm doing it tonight. You could put something else in the middle, like a cathedral window square, or even a fancy fandango.
Oh, a fandango. Oh. That's a Spanish word, fandango.
It is indeed.
It's a flamenco. Right, now if you want to go for these the beautiful layer cakes, it's a great investment to know that you have it as well. £47.49 is your price. Now 540702 is your item number. Now we also have got some quilt backing here, and this says on there that it's muslin, but it's not muslin, isn't it?
No, it's cotton fabric. It's bleached cotton fabric, because the American word for what we call calico is muslin. So technically that should have said this is, what is it, 1.5 meters of 2 meter wide cotton, pure cotton fabric.
And is one of the softest cottons I have ever seen. So it says that it's a backing, but I think this could be even for dressmaking.
It would work wonderfully for dressmaking.
Yeah.
It would make a lovely shirt.
It would indeed. Now, £29.99. Remember, this is a wide piece. It's 1.5 meters, my height, just saying, by 110 inches in width. So and just so you know, is it quilting width usually is around 44 inches, 42 inches?
Yes.
So we have got way more than double the regular width of a quilting fabric. 401968 is your item number. Now we have also, let's have a look at the foldy rolly patchwork business book. By the end of it, I will say it like roll of my tongue.
Well, you know why it was called that? Because it's got folds in it,
yes,
and it's got rolls in it, and it's got patchwork in it, and it's got a bit of pizzazz from the colours.
And
so
it has
foldy rolly.
And it has
don't put that picture away. That was when I got my skirt caught in the hotel door.
Indeed.
It has funny stories in it. You see,
It
just
is,
from you.
but that's why we love you, and everybody kind of is in, it's not just amazing patterns, but it's the lightness and fun as well. And the fun, I love the colorways as well, because they are not boring.
Thank you.
They are striking, in fact, and you can see in here all different techniques, all the different top tips as well, and all those rolls and all those hooks, and you have them here in. Look at that. Right, $9.99 is your price. You have got the templates as well. I mean, it keeps on going. It keeps on going. It's a really good book. You have got here, Jenny, and of course, if you want the book in your hands, check out those baskets. 707951 is your item number. And with that, back to you, Jenny.
Right. Well, I thought I'd use the layer cake and show people what they could do with a layer cake, which is this.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
so all
That's
you need
amazing.
is some 10-inch squares, and whether you have the cream ones or whether you have the white ones is entirely utterly up to you. Instead, you get 42 of them in that pack.
That's a big area. So
it is a big area.
Because 42 times 10, so that's 420 inches a square.
Yes, raw edge to raw edge. So technically you get 9.5 inches, but there's no way I can do 42 times 9.5. It's way too late at night for that.
Indeed.
So if you're going to make this design, you're going to want 5 squares for the centre. You could, if you wished, use 4 squares in one colour and use one of the others to go actually in the middle, if you wanted to. So you could have red popping through there or blue popping through there, or maybe use one of these where you've got the confetti on it. That's your choice. So we want 5 squares for the middle. Let's move that to one side. What is going to happen with 4 of the 5 squares is the squares will be folded in half on the diagonal with the right side on the outside. And I say that because you might be wanting to do this with a different fabric, although I can't see why you would. And if it has a right side, it needs to be right side on the outside. Incidentally, this design works particularly well with any fabric that has no direct right or wrong side, because as you'll see in a minute, we are going to reveal the underside. This fabric doesn't have a right or wrong side, which is why it is perfect. Having ironed your square in half on the diagonal, open it up and bring one corner to touch that centre crease. Press it again and fold over. You end up with a triangle with a bit tucked in. So this now, if this was the right side, would be the wrong side of the fabric. So just consider your materials. You need to do exactly that 4 times. So here I have, in true tradition, 4 that I did earlier. This is the 5th square, which could be another different colour. Now, before you go any further with this, you need to know which is your left hand. Okay, if you hold your hands up and look at the back of your hands, only one hand says L for left.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Right.
Now,
so
that's my new trick then. I learned because I always have to think. I always have to think which way.
Left. Then you come across some smarty pants who says, well, of course, if you turn it the other way around, it doesn't say L. No, you look at the back of your hands.
Oh,
all right? So
I
it's
see.
just
Back of
the
the hands then.
So here is my square. This could be anything you like, and it should be right side up. Take the first pressed triangle. Now, it's snuggled into the L for left of my left hand. You're going to need 1 pin and 1 pin only. I'm going to take my second pressed triangle, lay it on top of the first one, and give it a quarter turn. The shape we've now got formed is like a yapping mouth. And just tuck a pin in that top triangle only, not through to the base layer, but just the top one. So can you see the yapping mouth? You know, as a woman, I understand about a yapping mouth. You're going to take triangle number 3, put it directly on top of triangle number 2, and give it a quarter turn. And, oh, thank goodness for that. We've closed the yapping mouth. Peace and quiet. But I can still see the pin. There he is. I'm going to take triangle number 4, put it on top of triangle number 3, and give it a quarter turn. And shock horror! I've lost the first one. I can't see the pin.
Wow.
She'll get so cross with me.
Okay.
If you lift up the 4th one and lift the pin up, you can tuck the 4th one underneath the pin. So basically now what we've got is a crisscross in the folds. And just double check you've got this tucked in bit on the top, or else if you had it on the other way up, you'll be wondering why you can't roll that edge, because you'll have a flat surface. At this stage, pin it carefully, and you will need 8 pins on each of the corners, pin each. Because what will happen next is go round it with a long stitch on the sewing machine. And keep that stitching really, really, really close to the raw edges. So that is my middle. I'm now going to make the borders to go round it. So I have a 10-inch square for my layer cake, and you're going to want to divide this into 2.5-inch strips. Unfortunately, 4 2.5s actually make 10. So putting the ruler on the top there, cut 4 2.5-inch strips. In addition to that, you'll need from another piece of layer cake 4 2.5-inch squares. So just let me cut this up a bit quick. You can see how useful these long rulers are.
Yes, they are.
So that's 4 of those. Now I had a little bit of fabric knocking around somewhere. Never mind, I'll have another layer cake. Probably moved it out of the way. When it comes to cutting 4 2.5-inch squares, just simply take a 10-inch strip right the way across the entire piece and cut that into your 4 2.5-inch squares. You can see it all works together really nicely. So there we go.
It does.
2.5 inches.
It's like if you had thought about it.
Yes, a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to add the border. So if you took your centre block that you've sewn all the way around, I would put a strip on one side.
Yes.
I will put a strip on the other side. To either end of the remaining strips, you want to add one of the squares. So one square goes on that end, and one square goes on that end. Ditto here. Now, apropos of seams, your seams go towards the outside edges. Do not try and open them. I know I bang on about opening seams greatly, but this time they go towards the outside edge. So frame the centre, and it's going to end up looking something like this one. It's at this stage now where you could mount it onto some wadding if you wanted to. But now it's time to do the twiddling, because we can do some foldy-roldy with this.
Yeah, that's what we are here for.
Absolutely. Put a few pins in the corners, but how you get this design to look like the one I have here is by simply rolling back the folds. This will roll right back. And, you know, tuck your fingers well inside it so that you get it rolled really back. And this one will roll back. And the reason why it rolls is because the fabric's folded on the bias. And you roll that one back. Stuff your fingers right up inside there and get it nice and flat. So we can roll that back. And another pin and roll the last one back. And not only can we roll those things, but you've got the additional benefit of a little bit, providing you had it the right way up, that you can roll here. So we can roll back all the various edges, and that creates this rather nice sort of interlocked design. It's called interlock squares, and you'll find it in the Creative Tucks and Textures book, which we have on the show, fortuitously. So if you've forgotten or you weren't paying attention, it's in the book. When you've done that, suggest you anchor it down. Now, if we go to the one that I finished here, I anchored it, and this could be done by, perish the thought, hand. So I've caught it here with a very small stitch. I actually did it on the machine with a very short stitch length.
I see.
And if I was going to do it on the machine, the foot I would recommend would be to use an open toe. Technically, it's the wrong foot to use because it doesn't have a flat bottom.
Okay.
But it's the right one as far as I'm concerned, because I could then see where I'm stitching. So an open-toed foot, and just go backwards and forwards and jump to the next one. Okay. Carry the threads with you. Drop your needle down and then do another couple of stitches. And if you jump and carry the threads with you, and remember to drop your needle down because you'll start the stitch, you won't get that awful bird's nest on the back. Yeah. So catch it down in the middle, 4 places. Once you've done that, if it's on the wadding, I would simply do tram lines around the edge, straight stitching. Remember to make your stitch length a little bit longer, and you have got a fabulous cushion panel that just came from a layer cake.
And it feels and it looks incredibly complicated,
yes,
but you explain it so
yes.
simple. It is incredible. Now, if you want to go for your layer cakes, we have, of course, 2 different options, which is what Jenny was just using, the cream and the white. I strongly recommend to go for the cream one in this occasion. Usually I go more for the white, but in this case, because the cream goes so well with the one day special, and of course the techniques that Jenny has shown. Now, how many layer cakes or pieces have you used for that cushion?
I used 5, 6, 6.5.
6.5. You have 42. So 6.5. Imagine that. That would be about. You can make at least 7. 7. Yeah. Oh, 6.
6.
No, 7. 10. Oh yeah, 7 times. Okay, 6.5. Anyway, sorry. She used a calculator.
But you see, you
there.
don't have to do that, because you could do the other design that's in here, that the cushion is at the back of me, which in fact there's 2 more designs in here that could all be done with the same thing, you see?
Absolutely. Wow.
This is also could be done with 10-inch squares, so you could actually have 6 cushions. You could have 2 like the one I've just demonstrated, and 2 of each of the things in that particular book.
Indeed, that's brilliant, Jenny. All right, and now check out your baskets. And now, of course, Sew Pieces by Jenny Raymond is one of the books. We have it on the show. But, of course, we have got the one-day special, The Gatherings, here by Moda Fabrics. It is a 10-piece of fat quarters. It is an American fat quarter. It means that it's a yard, based on a yard, not a meter length. It's just under a meter. But you have 3 different options. You have the navy and cream, which is the one that you can see in here. I love that it's more of a type of ditzy prints in here. And of course, this is why you know, a company like Moda that is being established in the industry for a long time. But of course, Primitive Gatherings is a quilting kind of blog and an amazing quilter in America that has designed these fabrics for Moda. And here you have the red and cream option as well. Think about, celebrating this summer, celebrating that some normality is back, celebrating having bunting in your garden, bunting around your door, bunting in the sense of celebrating that what we have been through and we have come on the other side. Think about this beautiful English paper piecing. Maybe you want to create something. This is ditzy printing that will allow you to create that as well. Now you have also the last option is the multi. That features red, navy and cream. It's almost like I don't know why, but I'm thinking of a tea party. I'm thinking of a scones with cream,
jam,
and
cream.
jam.
Earl Grey tea.
Absolutely. And blue skies.
Yeah, blue skies. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. So, darling, we are there. And, of course, if you want to celebrate with us, well, you can celebrate those gatherings and those celebrations with the amazing one-day special from Moda. 470921 is your item number. And remember that you have the 5 quarter pieces, 10 of them, and you have that saving of £6. Now, that's 5 quarters. We also have the pick and mix. Now, the pick and mix is half-meter pieces, which is what actually Jenny got. And she was like, I did like to have the half-meter pieces because there's a lot more possibilities,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Totally.
And of course, you have a pick and mix, which means that you choose whichever 2 are your favorites. Now, you could go for 2 blues. You could go for 1 that is navy and the same pattern in the beautiful red, or you can go for whatever option you want to. We are not putting it together. You create your own collection. And of course, you could say, well, I do like the stars. There is plenty of options for stars, for the smaller ones, the negative, the positives. You have all those possibilities. Refer to the website to know exactly which pattern. I love the fact that, for instance, if I go, I do love which one it is. You have the confetti, the one that I say confetti, because this one has a little bit of blue in there as well. But you have also, which one is my other favorite? I love this, the star. So you could see that these 2 are very similar, but a little bit different. So again, I'm thinking even binding. I know it's like too nice a fabric for binding, but the pattern is perfect, isn't it?
Absolutely. Mind you, if you did use a stripy binding and you cut it on the bias, the stripes would all go diagonally.
Ooh.
Yes.
That would work very well indeed as well. And of course you have, then you will go into the multi as well. So you have got, for instance, blue or navy printed onto that beautiful red, rich red. And of course you have other options as well at the end of there. So you have all these options to choose. Remember, they are half-meter pieces of fabric. So you can choose and you will have more possibilities. £14.99 is your price. 189572 is your item number. Everything you can find on the website, including Jenny's books as well, of course. I'm gonna say it, creative tucks and textures, and comes with material magic. 5-star reviews, of course. The royalty gets 5-star reviews. Foldy Rolly Patchwork Pizzazz is there as well. Fans and fabrications, and then Sew Pieces, which is the one that features the amazing demonstration that Jenny has shown us. Now, you also may want to go for the easy quilting, ideally suited acrylic template bundle. Or you may want to go for the junior acrylic templates. Of course, you have got all these options. You can see them there, and grab them, add them to your baskets, and check out those baskets to make sure that you grab a little bit of Jenny's magic. Right, Jenny, what is the next demo?
Right, I thought I'd show you how I created the panel that's here.
Ooh, lovely.
So this is the one where Lynn Quine very kindly embroidered. She has one of these fancy embroidery machines. I most certainly don't. I rang her up and I said, I need some red work. And she very kindly stuck it on the post. And this was done on a 10-inch layer cake square. So if you've got a machine that does embroidery and you can do red work, just see how lovely, how well these fabrics complement it. So the middle. Right, returning to this, because I can't do a layer cake, I've just used a, sorry, I can't do an embroidery. I've just used a plain square from the layer cake in the middle. And I'm actually going to put a fancy fandango in the middle.
Oh.
And you'll find a fancy fandango, I'll have you know, actually is in the Sew Pieces book. But if you didn't want to do a fancy fandango, you could put anything else you happen to fancy in the centre of your layer cake. The border that's going to go round it is formed from 1/2 and 1/4 square triangles. So this is where that really useful companion angle comes in, and indeed the 1/2 square triangle, which I've now put to one side, and there he is. Incidentally, it's well worth marking your templates with some form of mark, particularly when we get back to going into classes again, because it's ever so easy for them to get muddled up. So I very often use a bright red nail polish just to mark the templates. To use this particular template, I'm going to do something that is really based on a flying goose, and I'm making the border that will look something like this. And I will have an option. I could have the border around this way, or indeed I could have the border around that way. And this border is made up out of basically 3 of the companion angles. But the length of this border is 12 inches. This square is, it's 12.5 inches from raw edge to raw edge, which is really 12. This square, the layer cake one, is 10 raw edge to raw edge, which is really 9.5. Whenever you want to work out the border that I would need to add to the layer cake to make it fit this border, you take the finished size of the layer cake, 9.5, you subtract it from the finished size of your next border, which is 12. 9.5 from 12 is 2, 3, come on, 2.5.
Oh, sorry. 2.5.
No, it isn't. 9.5 from 12 is 2.5. It's 3.5.
2.5, yeah.
Thank you, 3.5.
Yes, the voices in my ear confirm it. So, if I confirm it, don't trust it. But if it's the voices in my ear,
yes, it was 3.5 when I did it yesterday. Anyway, put it down to it's getting late.
Yeah.
So half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So you need to add 1 3/4 to all 4 sides of this centre square. Remember to add your seam allowances on. So that's what I did. I added the strips that go around the edge. Once you've done that, this piece is formed by taking a 3.5 inch strip of fabric, and somewhere we have a 3.5 inch strip of fabric. With your companion angle, place the companion angle so it's on the 3.5 inch line is on the edge of the fabric. Now remember that with the companion angle, down the sides go the finished measurements. In the middle goes the size of strip that you cut. So I've got a 3.5 inch strip, just a little bit here, put the ruler on there, cut up one side, flip the fabric over, replace the template, same old thing, do it again. Now to make this particular border, you'll want 1 in red, and I had 2 in the cream. So just let me cut a couple in cream. So same thing again, 3.5 inch strip, cut up one side, flip the strip over, cut the other side. To finish off the block, square off the ends, we need some 1/2 square triangles. And yet again, you'll want to have a 3.5 inch strip. So to the 1/2 square triangle one. So there's my 1/2 square triangle. Find your 3.5 inches. Level off the end and get rid of the selvage. Try and remember to cut the selvage off, because otherwise it has a nasty habit of getting sort of stuck somewhere in the middle of your quilt. 3.5 inch strip, lay the easy angle on there, 3.5 at the top, cut up one side, And I should think you're getting used to this now. Flip the template over, black bit hangs off the bottom. There we go, and cut. I just realised I needed to cut those in red. Oh, here we are. I'll do it from this. Just ignore me.
Oh.
Paola, tell them something amazing while I sort myself out.
I can say, well, the book, I can show some pieces actually by Jenny. Of course, it is a fabulous book, and it features the first of Jenny's demonstrations this hour. And you can see a lot of different techniques in here. This is one of the things what I love the books, because, of course, it features different techniques that you can do as the projects that Jenny intended, or then you can do something a bit different. There it is. Look at Jenny. I love that dress. That's an amazing dress.
Oh, yes, it's my bridal dress. Not my real bridal dress, but a bridal dress.
Oh, inspired by my weddings, the fancy fandango frock. Oh, I think there is a story there.
Yes, there is.
Oh, is it a story that you can tell?
Maybe not.
Oh, I see. Well, you have to buy the book, because, of course, it's full of stories. Oh, this is getting very interesting. Oh, I think we need to have a party when parties are allowed. And, you have to be the guest of honor, because royalty always is.
No, I lecture you, so you have to come to my lecture.
Oh,
so you have to pay to hear the stories.
Well, I'll pay you to come to my garden and to tell me the stories. I think there would be, everybody at Hochanda would be really, happy.
Okay, being sensible about this thing, now I've cut the right pieces in the right colour. This strip is made up out of 3 of the companion angles cut from a 3.5-inch strip and 2 half-square triangles cut from a 3.5-inch strip. And basically you just piece them together. So when you put the 2 companion angle pieces together, you'll find that one bit will stick out at the end on the seam allowance, and the other end, which has got a flat end, no, your template has not lost its point, it's meant to be like that, will be in on the seam allowance. So to the sewing machine, remember it's a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on all these things, and just sew up. I'm on the zigzag, let's go back to straight stitch. And I'm resetting my machine for the special number that gives me a 1/4 of an inch. I've always found using the regular foot and setting the needle to be considerably easier than perhaps using the 1/4 of an inch foot, because sometimes that little flange on the 1/4 of an inch foot can catch on the edge of the fabric. Where's my little donkey gone to? Hello, donkey. Who's got the donkey? Let's have another one.
Oh.
So basically, just join it together. So you join that one to that, and then I'd put this one on the other end, make sure you get it the right way around, and add the half-square triangles on the end. That's going to give you a strip like this. And if you repeat that 4 times, yes, 4 times, one will go one side, one will go the other side. And here's where you have a choice, you see. You could play. You could have it this way round, or I could have it that way round.
Oh, yeah.
Which changes it. Now, in order to make the other 2 strips fit on the other ends, one goes there and one goes there, you're a bit missing, a bit like me. In the corner here, you will require a square. Now, these are all done in 3.5-inch strips, so if you cut 2 more half-square triangles from a 3.5-inch strip, one of these can go in that corner, and you could have it that way round. Or you could turn it and have it the other way round. So you can have it like that, you can have it like that. Or you can turn this one round and have that one like that. This is the joy, Paola, of patchwork, because you can play.
Yes, you can.
So there you are. If you've got the fabric and think red work, think a fancy fandango in the middle, and you could put that on your hair, on your chest, and other places I shan't mention because this is a family show.
Okay. Okay. Well, bridal frocks, and we have talked about them. And of course, you had the fandango bridal frock, so you need to get, of course, the book. So you get the story. And of course, let's gonna show it again. So you have, of course, lots of different projects. Oh, those boots, the Fandango frippery. I mean, seriously, these books are full of surprises. You know, there's a lot of secrets, which means that for $9.95, you get not only Fandango and tacked in squares, and you know, you have got all these techniques, but you also get a lot of stories as well and secrets in here. I just think it needs to be really. I mean, well, can I just sit here and read it? No, apparently I'm not. Apparently I'm working. If there's now, of course, the books are available. $9.95 is so pieces by Jenny Raymond, but the one day special is by Mora, that exquisite company that manufactures incredibly beautiful, soft to the touch fabrics for your quilting. You know, there's something about to say that when I started quilting last year, and you know, I'm very, very much a beginner. The one thing I knew is that Mora was one of the brand names that I was drawn to because of the quality, because you enjoy not only looking at it, not only combining the patterns, but also sewing with it. It's the thing that it makes the craft even more enjoyable, because the quality of the thread, the quality of the printing, the quality of the ink, the quality of the designs, the quality of mixing and matching those patterns, the way that they work with different companies, in this case Primitive Gatherings, to completely create collections that work. Now this one day special is 10 quarter pieces, and you have got 3 different options: the navy and cream, then you have got the red and cream, and finally the multi, which is the one we are looking at now. Now the combination of all those makes the perfect celebratory bunting, the perfect tea party, you know, maybe tablecloths, napkins, make little flags in there. I think because also the pattern is very ditzy prints, it would make a lovely Union Jack. It would make a lovely covering for your chairs, your table, you know, your table decoration. Also, I'm thinking about, you know, the cushion covers as well. Have a look. But it's also nautical. I'm thinking by the seaside. I'm thinking that deck chairs. I'm thinking about all those glorious celebratory times that we are going to have this summer. And yes, we will. And maybe it will be sooner, maybe later, but we are going to have a little bit of a celebration, aren't we? So start by getting the one day special. It will be dispatched on the 11th of April. You will have plenty of time to create beautiful celebratory elements in there. And of course, but to do that, you need to check out your baskets. 470921 is your item number. And Fans and Fabrications is the title of another of Jenny's books. And this is, you know, how many books have you got, Jenny?
I think it's 10. 10
Wow.
or maybe 11.
Well, if you haven't yet, start your collection. Maybe the Fan and Fabrications could be the first one. Is there any particular one that is a recommended beginner's one?
They're all aimed at all sorts of levels. I think if I were going to want a book to possibly begin with, maybe Sew Pieces would be a good idea.
Oh.
Because it's got some small projects in, it's got a variety of things, from a bit of twiddling and fiddling, it's got the boxes in it, it's got some little projects in it. If you really wanted a quick way into just having a fiddle with fabric, that would be good. If you want to do a bit more and make a quilt, we'll go for the foldy-roldy. If you really want to play with what fabric can be, all the things you can do with it, will then go for the creative tucks and textures. And the Fans Material Magic will give you, again, if you wish to do hand sewing, the Japanese folded is ideal for hand sewing. And Fans and Fabrications has this fabulous, A, it's got fans in it, really easy flower, and B, making of these bowls and things out of strips of wadding wrapped up in fabric. It's not the Camden bag, for people who might think it's the know of the Camden bag. This is just subtly different, and that's so easy.
It is, indeed.
Yes.
Right, and now if you want Fans and Fabrications by Jenny, $9.95 is your price, 248393 is your item number. We have about 9 minutes till the 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I'm going to do a quick bit of the Disappearing 9 patch.
Oh, classic.
Right, you see. Okay, to do the Disappearing 9 patch, you are going to require 9 squares. I very often like to have this small square, junior square, on my table because it's nice and easy for cutting out smaller squares, because you haven't got to deal with the big one. So we have got this on the show as well. To start off with, I suggest you cut 9 4.5-inch squares. Now, if you're not certain how to use a square ruler, the answer is simple. I am right-handed, so lay your fabric out in front of you, put the square in the top right-hand corner. You know this is the left, so it's the other side. Cut off any selvages and just cut slightly bigger on two sides of the square than the size you want. So I've cut a little bit bigger than 4.5 inches in both directions. Take the fabric now and flip it round through 180 degrees. So it's now on my right side. The ruler, because it's got an L in it, is going to eat its way on from the left-hand side. It's going to eat its way on till it's eaten 4.5 inches in that direction and 4.5 in that. Cut up the edge of the template there and along the top, and that's perfectly allowable because should you fall, you're going across your body. Right, you're going to need 9 squares. So we have 9 squares here. Now, it depends as to how you lay them out as to the effect, and I think in some ways, although I didn't with the one I've got, I would probably lay them out like this. I'd put the stripy one in the middle. Yeah. Like that and like that. Now, you may remember from what I said earlier about how you sew a 9 patch together. And I'm going to very swiftly sew this 9 patch together. So I'm going to keep those stripes to one side. Right, when you come sew a 9 patch together, take those two, stick them together. Now you can chain piece, providing you remember which bit goes where. Quickly down there. If we don't finish this demonstration off, you'll have to wait and come back at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, of course, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Jen is going to be here as well as at 12 and 4 p.m. Make sure you tune in for more demonstrations and, of course, entertainment, because Jenny is synonymous with both.
Right, this is the fastest disappearing 9 patch I've done. Just talk amongst yourself while I get this next little bit underway.
Give a reminder of the details on the screen is for the pick and mix of the half-meter pieces. Remember that you can go to the website, hochanda.com, and you will have all the different options. It's a, well, I'm going to say the word, plethora of options in there. And you have, of course, different combinations. You could go for 2 of the same pattern, but in different, maybe one is the print is in, like say, the pattern in white or cream over navy, or the other one is navy into white. Whichever option you go for, you're going to have hand-meter pieces by Mora. Mora being this company, I think it's a Japanese company that manufactures these amazing cotton, quilting cotton weight. And then they work with different designers. Of course, and we are talking about primitive gatherings today, but there are other companies, like they work with other designers, and therefore always they offer a little bit different. Another thing that I always think about when Moda is reds. The Moda red, because Moda, I don't know if it's because it's a Japanese company, the red is very important, and I love how they feature it in many of their collections and something really striking. And this is one of the things that really captures my imagination with this collection, that the beauty of this red, that is a true red. It has the element that if you combine it maybe with some lace, it could be very vintagey, kind of seaside, even Victorian red could be. Also, like Jenny was saying at the beginning, it could be, if you go for the pick and mix and you go for more of the red ones in there, it could be for Christmas as well. It could be a lovely Christmas element. Remember to check out your baskets, make your selection, and then check out your baskets. £14.99 is your price. 189572 is your item number. We have got like a minute left.
I'm just about to make a 9 patch disappear.
Oh, I mean, I know a way to make it disappear, but I don't think you would like that way.
Right, you of course will actually sew it slightly more accurately. That the whole essence of a disappearing 9 patch is you've got a 9 patch and you now chop it in half and in half again. So measure across the centre there. These are 4.5 inch squares. That should measure 4. So measure 2 inches in from that edge and cut. I know this hasn't been pressed, but you'll forgive me for that. Switch your ruler around, cut again, remembering we're cutting whatever that is, half. Cut again. And then to make the disappearing 9 patch design, you leave 2 like that and you turn the other 2 round and you sew it back together, and then
Ooh,
tomorrow
fabulous.
you'll have to wait and see how you make a double disappearing 9 patch.
Well, you tease, Jenny Raymond. And of course, that will be 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And of course, that will be an appointment to be made because you need to watch all of Jenny's hours. Remember that if you want to catch back any of these shows on hochanda.com/rewind. Now, Jenny, a pleasure as always.
And you too.
And we'll see you tomorrow morning here at Hochanda. Well, we have got a very exciting show ahead with Matthew Palmer and life colouring watercolour craft along. Stay tuned for that one because it's going to be amazing as always with Matthew Palmer.
Hiya, I'm Hazel Eaton from Pink Frog. Pink Frog is an established company. You may have seen us in shows up and down the country. It's a family-run business up in Chesterfield. Pink Frog started to bring out their well-known Britannia dyes, and then we moved on to a wonderful range of cardstocks. You'll probably know us for our super smooth cardstock, and now we have moved into the world of stamping, and we produce high quality polymer stamps for you all to enjoy. We have a wide range of designs, and we're particularly known for our flower dyes and flower stamps. On our shows on Hochanda, I hope to bring you many hints and tips and techniques to inspire you, the crafter, at home. Make sure you don't miss the Pink Frog shows on Hochanda.
Hi, I'm Emma, the cricket demonstrator here on Hochanda. Cricket is a range of tools, machines and accessories that allow you to work with hundreds of materials. You can customise and personalise your papercraft projects, your home decor, clothing. You can work with iron on vinyl, paper, card, wood, fabrics. The possibilities are endless. On the shows on Hochanda, I hope I can inspire you with ideas to help you become your creative best with cricket. So make sure you don't miss the cricket shows on Hochanda.
Exciting news! For the 5th year in a row, Hochanda has been awarded the top accolade of Platinum Trusted Service Award from Feefo. These awards recognise businesses that deliver exceptional experiences as rated by you, our customers, and we're honoured to have been selected. The Trusted Service Award means you can shop with confidence based on the reviews from over 60,000 Hochanda customer experiences. Thank you for your independent reviews. It means a lot to us.
Hello, I'm Barbara.
And I'm Julie.
And together we're Scarlet Rose Crafts. We're a family-run business, been in business for 2 years, and our aim is to bring new and innovative new products to the crafting industry.
We've both been involved in crafting industry for many years, and we're continuing to move forward with our new company now.
The Easy Mat Plate is our flagship product, followed by our innovative Easy Shim product.
Our range includes diamond trail plates, ultra-sized dies, cards and sticky sheets.
We're constantly developing new and unusual products, so watch this space.
On our shows, we hope to inspire you with our products so that you can carry on crafting, because our motto is, because we can.
So don't miss the Scarlet Rose Craft shows on Hochanda.
For the past 6 years, Hochanda's been your home of crafts, hobbies and arts.
We've got some exciting news. We've got a brand new name.
From April the 1st, we'll be changing our name to The Craft Store.
This will make it easier for you to find us when scrolling through your TV channel guides and searching for us online.
Nothing else is changing. We'll be the same Hochanda that we've always been.
We're just getting a brand new name.
Demonstration-led, full of inspiration and variety, with our own dash of personality.
Welcome to the Craft Store, your home of everything crafts.
Well, hello. We have an amazing hour ahead of you, or ahead of us here at Hochanda. If you are just joining us for the first time here at Hochanda, it's so great to have your company. Welcome here. Well, by the way, we have announced today that yesterday is Hochanda, but it's going to be the craft store from the 1st of April. And what we try to do here at Hochanda is inspire you with crafts and arts, sewing, and all sorts of creative endeavors here. And one of the things that we are very proud of is to involve you as much as possible, to kind of guide you with amazing experts that kind of teach us all the secrets, but also we provide you with amazing products that so you can achieve the best results. Now, of course, some of you already have got an amazing kit and that you can then paint alongside not just me, but of course Matthew Palmer, who is going to teach us how to create an amazing piece, and of course that is going to start in about 5 minutes. So if you have your kit, just go and get ready, because we are going to start in about 5 minutes with all the beautiful. If you haven't, you can buy one. And for the next actually craft along, which is going to happen on the 20th of April. Now that you have got the details on the screen. It's £5, includes PMP, and you will be able to paint along Matthew. And you know, as somebody who has been done a few of these painting along with Matthew, I can tell you that the joy of achieving your painting, your watercolor, is incredible. Now, of course, then we have, well, by the way, we should introduce Matthew, shouldn't we? Right, so of course we have Matthew here. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Looking forward to this.
Me too. I mean, always is a joy. Now, already you are getting, of course, the amazing watercolor painting lesson here, Matthew Palmer. Of course, that will be the 20th of April, and of course the materials will be included. Now, of course, how do you buy here at Hochanda? How do you get those amazing products? Well, you go to hochanda.com. That's the easiest way to do to check out your baskets, right? And of course, that is one way. You can also give us a call here at the call center, and of course, that is upstairs actually here in and well, it's actually well, I'll give you the number, but I'm really bad at numbers, let me tell you. 01733 602000. That is the local number. It's a UK-based number. It's, of course, we have got the call center here, because I do go sometimes upstairs to put my orders, I have to say, because here is a community. It's a community and it's a family, and we are all incredibly passionate about crafting and art. Now, Matthew, what are we going to be painting this hour?
So we are going to be painting, actually, I don't know if we can actually see this down here, but there's a little watercolour, this one here, of this winter landscape here. There it is. If we give that a bit of a twist that way, does that make it easier? There you go.
Yes,
yeah, there you go. So
perfect.
Beautiful. So a nice winter landscape, but here's the great thing: using just one brush and just 3 colours as well. And again, if you've got those 3 colours and you've got a single brush, it's amazing what you can do. So we're going to be using a blue, orange and a crimson kind of red to produce this. Sheet watercolour paper, and we've even got the mount as well. And of course, if anybody purchases the lesson on the 20th of April, we'll send you a brush, we'll send you the 3 colours, and we'll send you 2 sheets of watercolour paper, and we'll also send you the little sort of bevel mounts as well. And these little blobs of watercolour paint go an absolute mile. You can do maybe 4, 5, even 6 if you're careful with the colour. Watercolour is really concentrated. So you're going to get 2 lessons, a butterfly actually, and a beautiful waterfall scene as well. All the instruction, and on the 20th we will be painting the butterfly live here on Hochanda. You can paint along again with us, of course.
Incredible.
But today
Yeah.
is all about that little winter scene. So here, what I've done is I've stuck a sheet of the watercolour paper from the kits. I've stuck it with masking tape to a board what I've had for quite a few years. But you know, if you've not got anything like this, just a piece of cardboard, you don't have to stick it to a board. You can just basically paint it if you like. But it makes the process a little bit easier, and it's just a nice thing to do. So get yourself all geared up, grab some water, get some kitchen paper, some paper towel or something similar. Because it is quite emotional when you start painting, you know.
It is, absolutely.
You have to wipe the tears away sometimes, you know. We've got the 3 colours here. Now, if I just show you this, I mean, these 3 spots of colour will do about 4 to 6 paintings. They really will, because it's really nice artist quality colour. And we've got a gorgeous brush there. It's a size 6 round watercolour brush as well. So we're giving you the tools. All you need is a bit of water and about 45 minutes to sit down and chill out, and then we can produce a picture.
Perfect.
So you don't need to use an easel. You can just have a table, just like you're working, actually.
Yep.
And the first thing I want to do is get another piece of masking tape, which is long enough to go across. And I want to remove the stickiness from this as much as I can, so using fingers or wiping some moisture from the forehead or somewhere similar. Anywhere that's a bit moist.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll create a landscape here, okay? Now, just below halfway is where I want to be on this, okay? Now, it doesn't matter if you're just working on the paper or if you've stuck it down. You can just use normal sellotape for this if you want to as well. Yeah. But always take that stickiness away. And what we'll do is we will place this so it's a bit below halfway. Can you see it's just kind of flapping loose on that one area?
Can I say Can I remind everybody that, of course, this is a paint along. So if you have any questions, you can email us in at studio@hochanda.com. You can even give us a call if you wanted to as well. We are live here at Hochanda, you know, and we want your involvement as well. If you want to ask any questions, email us in at studio@hochanda.com. That will be, and of course, we will try to answer your questions, put them forward to Matthew as well. Also, post pictures as well, send us pictures. We are also live on Facebook, so you can go search for us on Hochanda on Facebook. You can watch us there, or you can ask questions. I have got my tablet here ready to read questions, and of course we will put it. And you know what? We are so excited that even our floor manager, Molly, is painting alongside. So be one of us and paint along, and of course share what you make. Now, is there anything else that we need to before we get started?
No, so basically it's the water, it's the kitchen paper, it's your brush, your 3 colours and the masking tape just to stick down this and create this landscape. Again, as we mentioned, if you try and create a curve, try and curve it down. And then when you get so far down, try and change direction and make it go almost horizontal. Does that make sense? You kind of kink the tape. So if you can do that as well, that'd be great. Yeah. So it's kind of the bottom third of the painting is going to be the landscape. Perfect. Try and get a straight line over this side. I'll take it. I'll show you this again. Okay. So pop it on. Hold it with your finger.
Yep.
Keeping this nice loose piece, and then curve the tape down. So imagine the hillside, and then as you go probably 2/3 of the way into the paper, try and crease the tape and try and make it nice and straight as it shoots off. You can get your fingernails in as well to give it some character, but that's going to give us that nice separation of sky versus landscape. Yep. It's important that you stick this thing through all the way to the end, you know, because at the minute that looks nothing like that picture, but it will do. It'll grow on us, it'll get there. So that's nicely stuck. Make sure you press it down firm. Are we all stuck and ready?
Yes, we
We're all
are.
stuck and ready? Perfect. So what we'll do then is we'll paint in the sky. So we've got the 3 colours here, the 3 blobs on this kind of plastic here.
So is that the paint itself?
It is, yeah. So this is just a squirt of watercolour paint, actually squirted from a tube of watercolour. This one's natural orange here, this one's natural red, and this one's natural blue. But any blue, red and orange will work great for this picture. And it doesn't matter how long the paint has been there. If it's dry, if it's moist, it's fine. Water just reactivates it. It works every time. So what we'll do is we'll grab the brush. We can all do this together, can't we?
Yes, of course.
Yeah? So we've got plenty of water. And basically, make sure that tape's nicely stuck down. And I want you to wet, all of us, the entire section down to the tape, okay? Keep popping this brush into the water, and watercolour paper, and we're giving you 2 sheets in these kits, so it's a really nice quality watercolour paper that holds water, it stays wet a long time, and basically I'm going to wet this thing all the way down to the tape twice. I'm going to do it twice because the first coat of water just kind of goes everywhere, it just kind of sinks in, but then the second coat just gets that nice moisture coming through. So always wet it once, go back, everybody, and then wet it again. You've got to get the moisture.
Yeah.
Is it me or is it moist? Check it. Give it a bit of a wobble, make sure you can see there's no dry patches as well. It's so peaceful in the studio. You can smell the excitement.
We are all calm.
It's relaxed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
and
so relaxed.
This is the thing, it's such a great thing to do to relax painting and crafting, isn't it, Matthew?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's total escapism.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, by the way, we had already one question from Carol, and Carol is asking: is there a specific type of masking tape we should be using for watercolor?
I always say with masking tape, you get what you pay for with masking tape. There's good, there's bad masking tape. Just a tape that will stay stuck, and you'll know yourself if it starts to peel off on the corners. Just press it down a little bit more and give it a bit of extra, you know, of a stick. But any masking tape works, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any good quality masking tape.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So what we'll do, folks, is just put one more coat of water on this thing, okay? Because it needs to be nicely covered. And then a good tip before you start painting is to get your brush and just sort of run it along the top of that tape there. Just drag it across, because that'll absorb any excess water that's gathering where that tape is.
I see, yeah.
And then do the moisture check. Give it a bit of a wobble. Have you got any dry patches? Is it all nice and shiny? If it is, you're ready to chuck some paint on this thing, and that's what we're going to do now. So we can do this together. So into the palettes, rinse your brush, and literally pop it next to the orange. I'll bring it up here so you can see. Next to the orange, and sort of wiggle it over the top a few times. Get plenty of water. Take the orange, give it a good old rummage around. There it is. And then literally, if you've never painted before, this is your first bit of painting. From the top corner, flat to the paper, come straight down, almost on a diagonal slope, okay? Keep grabbing the orange, go forward and back. Imagine you're putting like paint on a wall. Hold the brush about halfway down. Stroke it across and just go forward, back, and keep going, and just let your paint just become part of the paper. Leave some white gaps, it gives character, but we can see that nice orange going in, and don't be afraid to get a bit more orange here and a bit more there and so on. But notice I'm doing more the bottom half of that sky. Does that make sense, rather than the whole thing?
Absolutely. By the way, we have had a question from Facebook. Remember that this is a stream on Facebook Live as well. And Stacey's asking, what 3 colors do you need? I know that we have got the kit, and many of you have got the kit, but if you don't have the kit, what colors would you use?
So just only 3 primary colours. Now, in this particular scene and the scene on the 20th, we're obviously giving you the chance to purchase the materials for the £5, but it's blue, orange and red. So here I've got natural blue, natural orange, natural red, but any red, orange and blue, or even red, yellow and blue, primary colours, and you can produce a picture.
Perfect.
Yeah? Right.
Thank you, Matthew, for that. I hope that has answered your question, Stacey. Remember, you can email us as well as studio@hochanda.com.
Let's take a little bit of the red, but not much. Just a touch of red. Can we see the red just here? Just a little base. Again, always put the brush in the water. In this bottom corner, just put a few streaks of red. Notice the forward and back strokes I'm doing here. Very simple. Keep it clean. And just relax with it. And just work it in. And the red will mix seamlessly with the orange. Or the yellow if you're using a yellow at home. And it will give you a nice...
Mine has gone a little bit too dark. Is that problematic?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Thank you.
It's fine. It's the best one I've seen all day.
Oh, God,
So
you know.
what
The
we'll
only
do
one.
now is we'll go into the blue, clean the brush, and take a nice chunk of blue. And don't be afraid to get a good wiggle around, look on that brush. Nice quality brushes these, it's the SAA worker brush, lovely tool this.
They are.
And we'll get that blue, and then don't be afraid to go right in the corner and keep getting more colour and just bring it down into the orange. Let it mix. Can you see I'm sort of going past the orange? Slight diagonal, and it starts to give you that nice transition from the blue into the orange, into the red. So it just all nicely mixes together, you see.
And do we need to have the brush very wet for this thing?
Fairly wet. It's not a big brush, it's not going to hold a lot of water anyway. But if you feel it is too wet on your particular scene, just give it a bit of a tap on the kitchen paper or the kitchen roll, yeah?
Yeah.
And that'll remove the excess if you feel it. The main thing is to keep that blue moving down beyond into the orange, and you'll see it change colour at that point. Now, if you find that yours is too wet, there's too much blue, or in your case, I think it's too dry, maybe.
Yes.
If you clean the brush in the water,
Yeah.
just give it a couple of quick taps on the tissue.
Yeah.
And then work on the edge of the blue and just move it down into the orange, and you'll see it kind of smooths the colour, yeah?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but that's good.
You can't go wrong with it.
Okay.
You can't go wrong.
Good.
What we'll do next, folks, just before this thing dries, is we'll pop in a bit of a cloud. Now, for the first time, we'll actually mix a colour. So we're going to take more water. Again, my advice to you is give it a couple of taps on the side of the water pot or your table or something. And then we'll take the blue and we'll mix it with a bit of the red. Not much, just a little bit of the red. So you get a slight kind of purple, lilac. Can you see that slight change in colour coming through there? A bit of purple. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then we'll take the brush and we're going to pop it in this top right corner, lay it flat, twist the brush, twist it against the paper, flat to the paper. Can you see how the brush is flat to the paper?
Yeah.
Let's get some more colour. And we'll twist it and we'll bring it down, gradually lifting the brush up as you twist, and it makes a little cloud. See the cloud shape starting to form there, okay? Yeah. So it's all the way flat to the paper, and just twist without letting go of the brush. Keep reloading the brush if you run out of colour, if it gets too dry, and then just use the tip of the brush towards the end and just get that little bit of a twist thing going through, and it starts to give a cloud. We'll soften this in a second as well.
Yeah. Kind of thinking, I don't know if it's correct, but it's a little bit too chunky.
We're going to soften it in a minute.
Oh, okay.
We're going to soften the bottom in a minute, folks, so you'll be fine, which is always satisfying. Now, what we'll do is, because it's Hochanda, we'll pop another one of these in, and we'll go the opposite way, okay?
Right.
Because you've done such a good job of that one, we'll put another one in. And we'll start here in this corner where the tape is on the left. Okay. Again, flat to the paper and twist, and start to move up in the opposite direction. So it goes to a nice point. Can you see it almost disappears off? But it actually comes from the masking tape. We're going to soften all this in a minute.
Okay.
So don't worry how it's looking at this point. Anticipation is our fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just...
It's the best bit.
And how long have you been teaching, actually?
I've been teaching since... This will give my age away. So I've been teaching watercolour since 1998. So that's quite a while, yeah?
That's a while, yeah. It is a while.
Yeah?
But that also shows your passion and your dedication as well to teaching and watercolours, which I
just
think
enjoy teaching. I think that it's a great buzz. It's a really good buzz, is to teach somebody, to see results at the end, you know, and to go through people's range of emotions from it looking like nothing much, and then when you add them finishing touches, it really improves itself. Let's all clean the brush. And let's give it a couple of taps on the tissue. 1, 2, and no more than 2 taps. Then what you'll do is you'll basically do it's after 9 o'clock, isn't it? So we can say bottom softening, and basically just do like a scribble from side to side with water. And can you see it starts to blend the the hard
Yeah.
line disappears.
Yeah.
Keep refreshing the brush. Clean it. 2 taps, remember, 2 taps. It can be difficult to do 2 taps because most people want to do this.
Yes.
Or this one, or that one.
Oh, yeah.
Grab it and wiggle it. But a couple of taps on tissue, and it allows you to go in, and it allows you to basically scribble the paint away. So you can soften any hard edges at the bottom of the cloud. If you've got a hard edge at the top of your cloud, with the damp brush, you can wiggle over the top of it, and it will loosen the colour. And watercolour never really dries. So you can see here that I'm scribbling away.
So you can always reactivate it.
Absolutely, that's one of the great things about watercolour. And I don't think people realise this, but you can go in, you can scribble, you can soften, you can blend. And it's lovely how you can make those hard lines just blend into your picture.
I kind of made mine even harder, but I kind of like them like this as well.
That's working good.
Yeah,
it's working nice. Nice wintry sky.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. What we'll do now is we'll paint in some distant trees, like a distant woodland at the in the drop here. So let's get down to the palette. We'll mix a new colour, and for this we're going to mix a bit of a brown, a bit of a rusty brown colour. Okay, how do we do this? You start with orange. You start with the orange. You get a nice big. So it's just that bit of water that's on the brush. Remember?
Yeah.
Nice bit of orange. Add some red to it, some of the red. And that'll make it like a terracotta colour.
Yeah.
And then once you've got that terracotta, that kind of fiery orange colour, add little tiny bits of the blue, and you'll see the colour start to go to that nice kind of earthy brown. It doesn't want much blue. If you put too much blue in, add a bit more red and a bit more orange to compensate for it. But it doesn't want a huge amount. It doesn't want a huge amount. As you can see here, look, see that nice kind of autumnal colour. I mean, it often snows in November. Autumn colours hang around till sort of late November. So to get browns in your trees is perfectly fine, in my opinion, for the snow scenes.
Well, already, Matthew, we have got a picture coming in from Matthew in Deeping. That's not this, but Matthew here. And you can see this is what he's done. Well done, Matthew.
Great start. And I love the colour of the masking tape as well.
Yeah, good green. Yeah, it's a good green.
That's good masking tape.
Absolutely.
Stick with it. Stick with it.
Absolutely. Right.
Let's keep going. So we've got the brown now. Are we happy with the brown?
Yes, more or less.
You could add a little bit more water to yours, I think, possibly.
More water?
Just a touch, just a little spot. Perfect.
Yep.
And then imagine the way that you did the clouds, the twisty thing. So if you want to watch me first, what we'll do is we'll start here, probably about a third of the way in, and we'll do the same twist.
Okay.
Brush being flat to the paper again. Twist along. Keep picking up more colour. Gradually getting higher as you twist. So gradually going higher, as you can see there. And it sort of tapers away, it sort of disappears away at the back there. So you can twist, wiggle the brush exactly the same way that you did with the clouds. And we'll fill in all this bottom section, just like using a crayon or something. Just scribble it all in. This is just the brown, remember, nothing else, just the brown.
By the way, Stacey has asked, you know, she's worried that the paper has dried. What can she do, or is that an issue? Or
just keep working, because when I'm working, if I'm working by myself, I'm not teaching, I know that the drying time doesn't matter because I work quick.
Yeah.
But when I'm teaching, like I'm doing today, is I'm very much conscious, like with the clouds, Stacey, here, I got you to go back in with a damp brush to reactivate it. So if yours is dried off, it's a bit patchy, just get a bit of water. But always remember, the best bit of advice I'll give you is always give it 2 taps on tissue to remove that excess water, yeah?
Yeah.
Watercolour never really dries permanently. You can always get water on it, which is exactly what we're going to do here on this picture. Okay. We're going to get water on the brush. Okay. And the 2 taps, remember? 2 taps. Yeah. So you've got a damp brush rather than a soaking brush. Yeah. The top of those trees, my paper is dry. My paper is bone dry, and I imagine yours is too as well, yeah? Yeah. Now again, if I was working at home, I wasn't teaching, it wouldn't be a problem. But because we're teaching, we take it steady, which is good because it gives you a chance to work along. And it shows you how you can reactivate colour. So just kind of tickle the edge of the trees, almost do little spirals, and soften the tops. Can you see how it's kind of loosening the actual paint, and it makes it look a little bit misty, a little bit fuzzy. And any hard edges inside, water, 2 taps, and you can have a bit of a scribble around. So again, even if you came to this picture in a week's time, you could do that, because watercolour never 100% permanently dries. It's one of the great things about it. Yeah?
And of course, you can rewatch this for 60 days.
Yes.
Right here at Hochanda, we have a rewind system. So you can go to hochanda.com, and for 60 days, you can catch up with any of the shows that we have done. Now, if you get this kit later on, now you also, if you got this kit when in the first, when it was first, you could get it. You have to get also an email with a voucher code as well. So that would be allow you to, of course, as a first-time customer, right? And of course, we will show you how to use that voucher later on. But also, if you will get a link to watch all of the paintings as well here and right. I'm trying to concentrate because it's kind of, I'm really excited about the painting as well. Now, well, let's see how to use the voucher here. Now, you go all the way to the end, to the checkout, and then you can see add voucher code here. And if you are a brand new customer, you can enter the